3, 2, 1.
All right.
Hello.
Way to go. Start off the stream on discordant chatter like usual. I'm just gonna keep an eye on things. We're looking all nicey nice.
Hey guys, check this out.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Is that all? Ah, yes, the infamous
It's the Goofy Day.
Grabbing,
It's the
Michael
Goofy
just grabbing a handful of dice and then deciding our fate.
Welcome back to the Moth Company.
Kill me on stream.
For anyone who is watching, thank you very much for joining us. For all of our wonderful and devoted fans at home, or out in public, or in the middle of the woods.
If you're in the middle of the woods, just say 3,
We'll
4,
send
6, 8, and we will send help your way.
Call
we'll send
for
a helicopter.
help. We'll charter the local helicopter to come and pick you up.
No, we have our own helicopter.
Yeah, the Moth Company helicopter.
Yeah, the Moth
Oh
Company.
yes, all of our assets.
You don't know about the Moth
The Moth Copter.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah,
this is gonna be the goofy
we
one.
keep it on top of the Moth Company headquarters in New York City.
In New York City, on top of
Which is where we all are
you'll
right
know
now.
it. You'll know it when you see it. It's this big. It's this big tower. It has a big M.
For many.
You'll sometimes see Iron Man flying around there.
He just likes to visit us.
Yeah.
He's unaffiliated.
He's just a visitor. He's just a good friend of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Iron Man. Thank you for coming back to the show, Iron Man. Glad you could join us.
This is all well and good, but I would never be friends with Tony Stark.
Oh boy, here we go.
All
David
right.
really doesn't like Tony Stark.
I'm not going to elaborate. I just think he's the worst.
David really doesn't like Tony Stark.
Yeah, but also, Peter Parker. You're gonna not love Peter Parker?
Yeah, no, I like Peter Parker. I don't like the way Tony Stark treats Peter Parker. Do you really want me to get into it right now, Eric?
No.
Yeah, we're not getting it. We can't get into that.
We'll get into it in the Discord.
Have
you can just get into the Discord.
Exclusive Discord. I know that you guys are consumers that have the fear of missing out, and so we're gonna use that against you so that you join our Discord.
Yeah, you got there.
Join our completely free Discord. Link in the description.
You just get to see us being as chaotic as we always are.
Isn't that alright? So, beyond our wonderful, smooth, and eloquent as ever intro, let's get into a quick summary for those of us who have been gone for a week. So, when we last left off,
all of us.
That was everyone.
The Moth Company has still had a court summons hanging over their head, and they have journeyed to help fulfill an obligation to the mayor of Falls Top, which is to go and help a group of people that are staking out a bridge between the cogs of Mechanus. And all along the way, we had some nice discussion about Moss and various other things amongst the company, and now the group has split up into two groups, which is Kato and Urani, who have followed the tracks of a strange ant-like being, and Maya and Eridan, who have continued along their way to the bridge and are now helping to set up the place. Okay, so where did we... We'll go back to Kato and Urani crouching in the underbrush.
Which I do still have my Crimson Right up on my longsword, which means that I'm hiding in a bush with a lightning sword.
With an electrocuted sword.
You gotta be quiet.
Like a normal person.
I'm just like, Urani, you gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet.
Yeah, you just have like an electric fly swatter.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, so you guys have been, you've seen this creature, and it has the kind of dark black, very slender body. Its waist is about a foot long, and then it just comes out into this broad pair of shoulders and this very insectoid kind of head, and kind of, yeah, but it's like grotesquely slim.
Grotesquely slim thick.
Yes. So slim, it's disgusting.
Slim thick.
And it is carrying a spear that has the same black kind of construction of the last one, and it has very uneven serrations on the top of it. And it's just
so
kind of hanging out.
I believe our plan from last week was to just wait and see where this guy goes, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Something.
I don't remember exactly.
What are the variant options?
Of a toaster strudel.
Okay, well, we're gonna wait and we're gonna follow where it goes.
All right.
Do they still have Pass Without Trace active on them?
No.
No, because we're out of your range.
Okay.
We are very out of your range.
All right. So you guys are gonna continue sitting down, or sitting, and kind of stalking this creature as it's hanging out. And at the bridge, you guys have completed your sweep of the area. So you've kind of made your way through, and the rest of the patrol is now setting up camp. So Brent has called your wonderful commander. Brent has called you back from the forest, and you can see there's a light glow of fire that's flickering off the trees, and a scent of food kind of wafts through the air of this gamey meat and cooking vegetables. Most of the patrol is either sitting on the ground or standing around the small fire, just like shifting their weight back and forth. And no one is speaking as of right now. They're kind of all like, like fiddling with their knives or their clothes, or kind of just not noticing anyone.
Riveting stuff, guys.
Right. Yeah, we're really producing good content.
Okay. And there's also a small pot of some kind of meat that is a reddish sauce, kind of bubbling over the fire.
Well, we have two options, and they are to either stay with the group or go and see where Kato and Urani went.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they'll probably be fine on their own.
I also might remind you of some of the things that you
have to babysit them.
Some of the things that you saw while you were leaving, or while you were sweeping the area. There were some broken arrowheads, dried blood of both a red and kind of grayish, dull green variety, and a forceps, about 2 foot long forceps of some kind of creature that was hacked onto the ground.
Do I know of anything that would have blood that color?
You want to roll a nature check for me?
Okay.
7. Okay. No, you've never seen any blood that kind of color. It's just kind of. It has the same consistency and feeling as human blood, as mammal blood, but it's just a different kind of alien cover. Its taste is very bitter. It's not like the irony kind of taste of mammal blood that you're used to. It's this very acrid kind of like biting taste.
This blood is gross.
Yeah, kind of. I guess you could say that.
Imagine. I suppose.
Maya, don't eat the blood.
I can't say I was planning on it.
The taste is bad.
Why don't we get some food and get the taste out of your mouth?
Maya, you're so smart.
All right. So Brent is kind of hovering around the camp, around the group, because it's just the 12 guys, the various ages, kind of hanging around the fire and just kind of like eating quietly, and they're just it's like no one is willing to confront what they're talking about. And Brent kind of folds his legs and sits on a fallen log and puts his hand on his knee. Tomorrow. What's up?
Is Brent Moss Boy?
No. That's jeez. That's Yarg.
Yarg.
Tomorrow we reset the snares and we leave here right after. No heroics, no fancy anything. Let's just get out of here. And someone else snickers. Nice speech. And it's the guy that was trying to joke earlier, Keckles, and he's kind of like sitting, tossing his knife into the ground. And the rest of the group utters a small chuckle, and people are just kind of starting to eat whatever is in the mystery dish, combined with some biscuits or like hardtack that they've brought.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to explore around, even though I guess this place is explicitly pretty dangerous, but like I haven't died yet. I'll probably be fine.
Okay.
Well, let's stick together.
So, yeah, which way do you guys want to go?
Let's explore near the bridge, I guess.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah. So, walking toward the bridge, you can still hear the clanging and the turning of the cogs all around you, and you can kind of feel like a little, kind of like a gust of wind. The bridge itself is about 10 feet wide, and it's just a flat span between this cog that you're on and the one across from you. And it's just kind of, it's got a flat span, and then it's got about 3 foot high barriers running alongside of it. So it's not enough where you could fall off, but if you wanted to jump, you could.
What is it just like nothing below it?
There is nothing below it, except for a few miles down, there's more cogs and more machinery that's kind of interlocked at different angles. So the bridge itself is open air, and then a few miles beneath it, there are other cogs and kind of things whirring and working.
Does the area across the bridge look like the same kind of thing as where we are now, or is it like?
Oh no,
different?
no. It looks more akin to the rocky landscape you're used to, kind of rock and dirt, and you could see there are some mounds, big kind of mounds of metal shavings and stone and dirt that have kind of been piled up around. They're about maybe 10, 12 feet high.
How is the bridge attached to both gears?
Yeah, it's attached to both sides. It kind of comes up, and you're not quite sure how it functions. In terms of like, is it on a gear, like rotating inside of the gear? Is it like, you're not entirely sure how it functions, but it's in the same spot on both cogs, and there's no visible rotation between the two.
Interesting.
So it's not like the cogs are spinning and the bridge is center. It just seems like the bridge is just sitting there and nothing else is moving.
Okay, and the arrows are like around the bridge, right?
Yeah, the arrows are scattered on the bridge. You can also see a little bit more blood, like clumps of blood that have long dried, kind of laying on the rails and on the bridge, and you can see tripwires and other mechanisms that have been set off.
Are the arrows going in like a particular direction? Like, is it clear which side of the bridge they were shooting from?
No. It just seems to be. You can see broken shafts further down the bridge, and then it begins to become more chaotic as it gets closer to your side. Kind of like they were just aiming wherever they could hit.
Interesting.
All right. So Kato and Urani, your prey has finally wandered off. It's
Great.
skittered into the woods, and it seems to be skittering the opposite direction from which you came. And
okay.
it's just kind of like quietly chittering, and you could see
the direction. So in the direction we've
direction
been
away
going?
from us.
the
Yeah,
direction.
the direction we're going. Okay.
Okay.
I need you to both make a stealth check because it is keeping its eyes open for anything that might be out of order.
Natural 20.
Okay.
So
I got
22.
15.
Okay. So
Still
it's got a
I had
whiz.
disadvantage and I also rolled a natural 20, but I had
Damn.
to
All right. I was gonna tell you. I was gonna say you had
Why do you have
disadvantage, but
disadvantage?
because of my armor.
okay. Yeah. So you are able
Scale now.
to. You're able to stay hidden in the bush as it moves by on its 6 legs, and kind of like you can see its hind quarters and like the rest of its body kind of shuffling and zigzagging, leaving tracks through the woods as it starts to head in the opposite direction of which it came before.
So we follow, trying to keep close to the bushes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Follow hidden sort of thing.
All right. So
Tracking this boy.
you
Creature thing.
yes. Due to the fact that it's snow, you're easily able to follow its footprints, and you can see it's working its way down the path, down a section of the path you have not been down, and it is slowly but surely kind of working its way in the direction that the rest of the group has gone. And Gale and Gale and Airden, you've seen members of the patrol start to turn in, so they're kind of, setting up their little bed rolls in these tiny shelters, and kind of, they're going to bed. It starts with the youngest one, and then slowly but surely, there's about two. Everyone except for two people go to sleep.
It's my bedtime.
CP night time.
I mean, I don't need to sleep. I'm fine.
I assume the two people are keeping watch?
Yes, they're keeping an eye on things, and
Okay.
they're keeping an eye on things, and you can see they're nodding off a little bit, but they're still just conscious enough to the point where if something were to go wrong, they would be around. But you could see as they're looking around, they're darting their eyes very suspiciously. So they're kind of they're very much on edge in their body language. Okay. So you're still tracking this creature?
Yes.
All right. So slowly but surely, you begin to see a glint of fire in the air. As you continue to track this thing, you can see kind of a little bit of light, a pinprick of light that's beginning to get bigger and bigger. I want you both to make a perception check for me.
All right.
10.
Okay.
Very good. 19.
All right. So, Urani, you're not positive of what it is. It could just be one of those glowing mushrooms that you passed by. But Kato, you noticed that there seemed to be some structures, little shelters built up against the sides of trees, and a pair of men that are kind of sitting near a dying campfire that this creature is moving toward.
Okay. Can I make an insight check?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Just like, is this a obviously a like our camp?
Yeah.
Well, that's a 5.
It seems like it's just a small hunter's camp. It's the kind of thing where people who would be out here, staked out would kind of camp out for a night. Doesn't seem like it's the kind of camp that a military military would sleep at. But there are quite a few. There are quite a few people there, so it's got to be a big hunting party.
Urani, here's what we're gonna do. All right, we don't want this thing hurting people, right?
Oh, obviously.
So I'm gonna tackle it, and we're gonna try and interrogate it.
You're gonna tackle it.
It's better than just killing it.
Yes,
I'm
but
gonna
do you
tackle
remember
it.
when you tried to tackle an owl bear?
That was an owl bear.
This is like a giant ant.
Okay, what do you want to do then?
Smack it.
Smack it?
Really hard. Preferably to death.
No, we
Great
gotta.
plan.
We can't kill it, or if we, it's better to not kill it than to kill it because we might be able to get information from it, right?
That is a fair point.
You got spells, magic, don't you? Got some kind of like, you know, make him sleepy, something like that.
No.
Okay, well I'll take anything.
I can maybe read his thoughts. I can try that.
Okay, why don't I tackle him and then you can read his thoughts, all right?
Okay.
While I interrogate him, you can read his thoughts.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Specific name for that isn't just
Read his
reading his
thoughts.
thought.
I tackle him. I'm
Telepathic.
gonna try and grapple him.
Okay. Yes. So you make a strength check against it.
Okay. Athletics, I believe, for grapple.
Yes.
Okay. 14. Come on, baby.
Okay. Against strength. All right. You're able to get your hands around its waist, and
Okay.
you begin to suplex it. And unlike being able to wrangle a two-legged human or a two-legged creature, it vexes you with its hind. Like it just slams its hind against you, and it begins to chitter loudly and very frantically.
Okay.
So I'd like you both to roll initiative, please.
Okay.
Not surprising.
That's a 9.
14.
Okay.
How loud is this thing being?
It's pretty loud. You can hear. You can hear it, and the patrol or the watch quickly kind of like springs up. Like you can see the watch kind of spring up.
Yeah, I'm going to motion to Airden.
Yeah, and I just run in that direction.
Okay, sweet. So remind me again the initiative rolls.
A 9.
Okay.
Oh. 14.
9, 14. All right. So Urani, you are first, then followed by our bug friend.
Well, I'm going
And
to...
Kato.
That's a bonus action. That's a bonus action, though.
All right. So you may go ahead.
So I can, as a bonus action, I'm going to do telepathic speech.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to also... can I do my action to ready an action?
Yes.
Okay. So as my bonus action, I'll do telepathic speech. As my action, I'll ready to use my quarterstaff in case anything goes, like, wrong.
Okay, so you're going to try to communicate telepathically with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So go ahead. What do you want to say?
So, I have... Oh, yeah. I'm gonna say... What are your intentions?
All right. So you're speaking in common, correct?
Yes?
You get no no response, no acknowledgement of what you just tried to say to it.
Does your telepathic speech not? Do you have to have a shared language
Let me
to be able to communicate, or does it bypass language?
Speak.
You must speak mentally in a language the other knows. Okay. I'm also gonna try Elvish.
Okay. Once again, you feel there's some kind of connection and that your message is getting to the creature, but it is not reciprocating whatever you're trying to say.
If you can get me in like a mind link conference call with this dude. I know Sylvan and I have beast speech, which beast speech probably won't work because it's probably a monstrosity, but Sylvan could work.
I do have one more.
If she uses it on me, will it be a conference call situation?
Yes, but
I don't know if
the link would be tenuous at best, and it would require a lot of concentration on your Ronnie's part.
Because after the last time I did it, I'm pretty sure that decreased my talent die. I checked and it doesn't say specifically if it does.
I would assume it doesn't.
It's just if you roll the max number that it decreases it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Then it's still a D6.
Yep.
I thought it was not a D6.
No, it is not. It is still a D6.
Woo! That's a good thing. Well then yeah, I can try and include you. And I don't know the name of it because for some reason when I wrote it down, I didn't write down the technical name.
That's fine.
I just whatever mind flares speak. So I'm gonna try that, see if it works.
Illithid, yes.
Deep speak?
Yes.
So you try to speak to it in Illithid, and even though it is the language that burns your tongue as you try to speak it, and like sends the skin on the back of your neck crawling, it does not communicate back with you in that language. And even though it is petrified by your speech, it begins to break out into a run toward the camp. And you can see it kind of level its spear, and its head is flicking around wildly.
Okay, well then I'm gonna use that readied action to smack it.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, so it is currently running away from you, so you'll have to make a running strike on it.
Okay.
So yeah,
wait,
go ahead.
I need to roll for how many hours it is.
Oh yeah, how many hours is your connection with this thing?
3.
What happens if you feel it die?
Or it's, no, wait a minute. It's either how many hours, it's within a number of miles of each other.
Yes, it's how many hours within the...
Within a number of miles of each other, equal to the number you rolled.
Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna yell out to the camp to stop that thing.
All right.
Okay, and I'm still gonna roll to hit the bitch.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, that is 1d6 bludgeoning damage. 5 damage.
All right. So you're just able to, as it's skittering by you on all of its legs as fast as it can, you're just able to wrap it on one of them. And you see it stumble for a moment, but it continues to break out in the run that it was going at. And Cato, your message gets across clear to the two people who are awake, and they quickly grab their spears and their little buckler wooden shields, and they prepare to spear it if it comes close. And one of them starts swearing, "What the hell is that thing?"
Wish we knew.
All right, so Cato, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna run and try to grapple it again.
Okay. Go ahead, make a check.
Come on, baby. Big money, no whammies. 18 plus 5.
All right. Yeah. So you're able to get on its. You jump after it. All of your orc weight slams into its back, and you knock it to the ground. And you can feel its legs and kind of like squirming as you've rolled it over, and it's trying to hit you with the back of its spear. So it's just gonna make a claw attack against you. So that's a crit fail. So it tosses, as it tries to frantically hit you, it tosses its spear aside, and it impales the spear into a nearby tree. And the other one is going to hit So it's still trying to beat at you with its fist, and you feel it strike a hard blow against your back, which will deal 4 damage.
Okay. Great. I'm at 20 HP. So, am I able to? Or no, because grappling it counts as an attack, so that's my action.
Yes.
Can I try to tie this thing's legs up? I have rope. I have rope in my explorer's
Sure. I just need you to make a dexterity check against it.
Okay, come on, baby.
Tie
17.
together.
Okay. You're able to, even though its legs are flailing wildly as it tries to rock itself and right itself, you're able to tie its its middle 2 legs together with a quick hog tie, and you can kind of feel the pressure on the legs, like snap them, because they're just these thin little tiny kind of legs. So you've broken its middle 2 legs, and it makes a screaming, very like high-pitched chittering cry.
Well, we're never going to be friends with it now.
He's all about hog ties, you know? It's really representative of him as a person. So that's my whole turn. I'm done.
Okay. So Gale and Eridan, you arrive on the scene, and you can see that off behind the 2 people that are still awake on watch, there is some kind of like dark creature that is being wrestled down by 2 other figures who are attacking it.
Knock him out! Knock him out!
Okay, so it is our camp that thing is attacking?
Yes, it's in your camp. Yeah.
Okay.
Cater's just a moron. But you do hear him shout. You do hear him shout.
I guess first I'll try to talk to it in Sylvan and see if it responds to that.
Okay. No, it does not respond to that attempt in Sylvan.
Okay. Well then, I guess I cast Ice Knife.
Nice.
Oh no, that's gonna hurt me.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's fine. It's fine.
I
have 20 hit points.
Listen.
You probably won't kill me with this ice knife. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's whatever. No, I don't even care.
So let's.
No, just kill my character.
They'll attack.
Kill him with ice knife.
Kill him. Kill him.
Kill him with ice knife. Just kill your brother's character with ice knife.
Okay, I got a 19.
So that'll hit.
Great. Really great. Really awesome.
Oh,
really
sorry.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's 1d10.
What kind of damage is ice knife?
Of the point has to make a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 cold damage.
What kind of damage is ice knife?
Cold.
Cold.
All right. So.
Oh no, the ice knife. The knife is piercing.
Yeah.
And then the one that you make the saving throw for is cold.
Okay.
Okay. What's your spell save DC that I have to beat?
14.
Okay. I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Yay!
It doesn't mean anything.
It's 4 damage for the first one. Also, would it have disadvantage on the saving throw since it's down 2 legs?
It would have disadvantage on the saving throw, and it does fail the saving throw, but it is immune to cold damage.
No!
Dang. Even better. Even better. Amy, what's the cold damage that I take? What's the cold damage?
Because you succeeded the throw.
Oh, really? Cool.
This is so sad. Anyway, he takes 4 damage.
I'm sorry.
Yes. So you see the ice knife impale itself in the thing's thin little tiny torso. But instead of the ice spreading out like you were used to, it's just the knife kind of sits there. This little glittering chunk of ice that is not doing its job.
Okay. Well,
so Maya, it is your turn.
We're doing the damage is whatever the average is, right?
Yes.
Oh crap, I forgot about that and I rolled.
That's
then
fine.
he took 5 damage. My bad.
There you go.
Sorry.
A little extra.
Things are looking up.
Things are looking up here.
To keep my distance and shoot at it with my bow.
Okay.
Nice and easy.
Please try and make sure to do a non-lethal shot in case you
Unnatural
accidentally.
20.
Okay.
Nice.
So that will hit.
Right,
Really? A natural 20 hits?
Damage.
All right. And how much damage is that? 7?
7.
Okay.
So maybe it's unconscious now.
Your arrow embeds itself in one of its legs, and you see the leg as the arrow flies. It pierces the leg, and a gush of green blood spouts
His legs
out.
are not surviving this.
No
Maya,
legs.
I figured out where the blood came from.
But it is still alive, and it
Right?
is angered. And that will pass turn to Urani.
Okay. I am going to cast Mind Sliver.
Okay.
I'm
Hit.
like,
Is there a saving? There's a saving throw attached to that.
Intelligence.
Okay. So let's see. It doesn't have any immunities to that. What's the DC?
See that you have to beat is 13.
I got an 18.
Damn it.
Okay, so its
News is
mind
it's
is
almost
too strong to. But even though you have a connection with it, and you can feel as if it's communicating to a larger whole. Like it's got a partition between whatever it's communicating with, so you can feel like it's communicating to a larger whole. And also,
Can I tell what the larger hole is?
no, it's just kind of veiled. Whatever it is, it's much larger than just your bond with it. And also, the pressure in the back of your head that we've been talking about, it's just increased just a hair. It's kind of like it's a needle, and the needle is just getting a little wider. So it's buzzing. So that, unless you want to move or do anything else, that will pass turn to it.
Ready in action if it comes near me to just.
Can
I do that or no?
You already cast a spell, which was your.
Oh yeah, right.
Or used your ability, which was your action.
I know I'm good then.
Okay. Yeah. So that will pass turn to it, and who's? Oh, Kato's closest, and it's still down.
Yeah.
All right, Kato. It's not very happy at you, so it's going to try to
hit me. Just try and hit me.
It's going to try to bite you.
Bitch wad.
Is it? It's got disadvantage on all of its attacks against you.
Bitch wad is what I'm sticking with. Well, it has disadvantage until it hits.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to do that first. All right. So that's a crit. One. The other one fails. And I need to make 2 for the claws.
This man be critting with disadvantage.
Yeah. So.
He rolled 2 natural 20s.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad at all.
Damn.
So as the monster, as the ant-like creature struggles beneath you, it's flailing its arms and it kind of beats its fists ineffectively against you. But while you're wrapped up in limiting the blows of the fists, it quickly sticks its head up and bites your exposed neck.
Nice.
So that is 1d4 plus 5. 1d4 plus. So that's 5 damage.
Okay.
And then, as you are wrapped up in it biting your neck, a stinger pierces your armor. So that is the crit. And I need you to. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. The DC is 12.
Well, that's a fat natural 2.
Sweet. So the average damage of a D4 is
2.
2. Okay, so that's 8 11. And 7, so that's 18 damage as you feel poison burning through your brains. Or actually,
Okay,
no, that's
well,
not 18, that's 15. Sorry. 15
okay, well, now
damage.
I'm at 0 because I was at 20, then it brought me down to 15. Now I'm at 0.
So it is knocked. Kato, you have been knocked out.
Oh no, guys. Oh wait, I'm gonna use Relentless Endurance to
Okay.
stay standing at 1 hit point.
All right, so you're gonna eat it and come back for more.
I eat this poison.
Okay.
I eat his poison.
But I will need you to make a strength saving throw to hold on to it, to keep it on the ground.
Okay. Athletics or strength saving throw?
Athletics. Well, strength saving throw because you're trying to hold on to it where it is.
Okay.
You're also die.
21.
Okay.
Got
Versus
no
its strength.
Listen,
All right.
Kato gets the good rolls where it
With
counts.
your, even though there's poison burning through your brains, your back, your veins, your back has been pierced by a pincer, and your neck has been bitten by strange insectoid teeth. You're still able to retain an iron grip on this creature, and you hear it beginning to wheeze out of its mouth. So that will pass from its turn to your turn, Kato.
Okay. I'm gonna try and like roll over so that it's on top or
Okay.
whatever to be able to get at the tail. I want to try and slice the tail off.
Okay. So you're gonna need to make a grapple, which is the athletics.
Okay. 17 plus 5. 22.
All right. So you got a 10. So you're able to get it right where you want it, wrapping your legs around its body, so you have it constricted, but you have your hands free to cut with.
And then my attack roll. Here we go. That's a 13.
That will not hit.
Damn.
So you scrape your sword ineffectually against its hide, as you are still baffled by the poison that is scorching your veins. And unless you want to move, that will pass turn to Airden.
I'm
I'll
gonna
get on the ground.
healing.
Okay.
So
I'm at 1 hit point.
I'm going to summon the wolf spirit in the zone where Kato's at, which it gives my allies advantage on all ability checks made to detect creatures in the spirit's aura, and if I cast a spell to restore hit points to anyone inside or outside the aura, each of your allies in the aura also regains hit points equal to your druid level. So how many? It's a 30-foot radius. So how many people, if I center it on Kato, with can I get everyone in that?
If Gale moves closer, yes.
I mean, it doesn't. No one else is injured, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you're also gonna hit the creature with it. No, it's on allies, correct?
Yeah, it's on allies.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. Sorry.
Okay, and then as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Healing Word.
Thank you.
Radical. So
that's
it's
1d4.
So it's
So
2.
that is 8. So you get 11 hit points back.
Nice. 12 hit points now.
12 hit points strong.
You're a big help. Thank you.
The 12 HP warrior.
I'm getting these hit points so you guys don't have to. I'm taking all this. I'm taking all these bites and these stings.
All right, and if that is the end of your turn, that will pass turn to Maya.
Right. Well, we'll go with all reliable and shoot another arrow.
Shoot it with arrow.
Okay.
Shoot arrow. Nice and easy. That will be a 15.
All right, that will hit. And the median damage is 7, correct?
7 damage.
Okay. At this point, it is very much lagging, and you see it head. Let's see if it makes the con saving throw to succeed. Oh, okay. Yeah, so you see its head dip for a moment, and then kind of pull itself back up. And there is blood and contusions all over its strange body, and it's pouring out of its legs, and after a moment, its head just goes limp, and it stops struggling.
Yeah.
he dead? Is it
Um,
dead?
it is not dead, but it will soon be
Okay.
dead.
Okay, we need to. Okay,
I mean,
I'm
I
gonna
can
make a.
heal it.
Can speak to
We
it.
don't. Let's just make a. I'll try and make a medicine check, I guess. Would that would stabilize it, right?
Yes, you could stabilize it.
Okay, medicine check. Here
With
we
all your
go.
knowledge of ant monster anatomy.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
That's a fat 7.
All right.
We need this guy's information if he has any. If not, we'll just kill him then.
You try to keep it. You try to stabilize its wounds, but your best efforts still leave it with blood gushing from its legs. And
Can I get some help here?
I don't think that
I'll try
it
to
can
heal it. I'm
speak
the
to
actual
us.
healer. I
Alright.
got 18.
Okay. You're able to stabilize it a bit better, and it seems to be that you've patched all its wounds and everything else.
First of all, I don't think it can speak to us. Second of all, we have a bigger problem to worry about with this thing.
Yeah?
What's going on?
Well, it apparently is communicating with something much bigger.
That's not
Probably
good.
a hive or something of sorts.
Uh,
So we have bigger problems to worry about.
yes.
All right. How do you
Okay.
expect we find out about the hive if we don't take prisoners?
Yeah, I mean, if we take prisoners, the hive might come to us.
I have a feeling it's coming to us anyways.
I'd rather take a prisoner than not.
Yeah,
The
and
first rule of monster hunting.
if we take a prisoner, we can make them come to us on our terms. We can set up a trap, I guess.
Set up a ransom trade with this
I
hive mind.
don't think that's how these things work.
I mean, that's how ants work.
Why do you expect that you know how it works, Your Honor?
Why do I expect that I know?
Yeah, why you gotta
Yeah.
talk
How
down
do
to
you
everyone?
how do you think it? Yeah.
I'm not talking down. I'm just saying I don't think it's intelligent enough to understand. It can't even understand what we're saying right now.
Yeah, I
Or
mean, it's
Speak
passed
common
down.
doesn't mean it's.
it doesn't speak anything from what I know. Can I see it if it speaks anything?
I mean, based on the fact that it was communicating with another being, it can speak something.
Okay. Well, okay, it can speak
Can
something.
All we gotta do is learn how to speak ant click.
Yeah, can I roll to see if it would function like how, like a regular ant would? Because ants, when like an ant in the colony dies, will like go and get it and bring it back.
Yeah, you could try to make insight on it.
Okay. That's a 24.
Okay. You suspect it might work that way. It's not really so much of as a hunch, but usually, from what you know, ants don't send out lone units. Like, they don't send out people by themselves.
We could leave it as bait.
Okay. Is there any kind of like cave system nearby here?
None that you've come across when you were wandering, and there are no signs of anything.
The two guys.
Yeah, why don't we ask one of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, our whole camp is here.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if we can set up a trap, we can use this. We can just kill this ant and make like a kind of an ant blood trail.
Yeah.
We don't stand anything to gain by keeping it alive.
All right.
Okay, I hit it with my scimitar.
All right. So you hack its head off, clean off, and there's a burst of, like, a quick spurt of blood, of greenish gray blood, that stains the snow.
How big is this ant head?
It's about
Really?
2 feet long. It's pretty big.
Again?
Pick it up.
Slimy
Yes.
head 2.
Alas, poor ant head. I knew him well.
Good gags never die.
Joke.
Oh.
Drop it.
Good gags never die. So, at this point, Brent has arrived, and you can kind of see Brent is clearly disheveled. It's not like his hair is a mess because he's completely bald, but his sword belt is kind of crooked, and he's got one boot on and like a sock.
So like he was sleeping or like?
Yeah, he was sleeping.
Okay.
Hey Johnny, was Brent fucking?
That's what I was wondering.
No.
We're all thinking it.
We're all wondering.
We're all wanted to
You
ask.
said disheveled, and typically when you say disheveled, something.
Erica's
disheveled
wanting to
does
know.
have connotations.
Erica's wanting to know.
The connotation was he was
Brent.
just asleep.
Does Brent get it? Does Brent get some?
I hate you both. No, so he's arrived on the scene,
Okay.
and he's just seen you decapitate this ant. So what was the point of that again? Can we just run that by me?
His friends are coming to get him. We're gonna kill him.
Oh great.
Or
So
we'll follow his friend
him.
back to where he lives, and we'll just completely destroy it.
did any of you did you hear when I said no heroics earlier, or did that just kind of go in one ear out the other?
I didn't hear anything.
Great. Well, you've just.
I wasn't even here.
Okay.
Oh, you might not. I mean, we're heroes.
I don't speak common.
We're
heroes. That's what heroes do.
That's
what heroes do.
Well, I hope you're heroes, because you're gonna have to prove it. Now that you've just endangered the lives of the 11 other people on this escapade.
Why do you say that?
We can drag the body to the middle of the woods. We can wait by the body, and then when his friends take him away, we'll be away from you. And then
unless there's some kind of outside factor I don't be knowing about.
Okay. The goal was.
I would say the better option would be for the camp to move, because if they're following the trail of the body,
the goal was that they don't come here at all.
Yeah,
they're not supposed. They're not supposed.
Coming here without our...
They're not supposed to be here.
They were already coming anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to hold them over there, and he points to the cog that has all the holes. That you, Airden, now recognize to be large ant holes.
Oh. Ooh, the bridge. We can bottleneck them.
Listen, Brent.
And
my friend Urani and I here were already following this guy, and he was already making his way over here without our interruption. It seems like our heroics kind of saved your ass.
For now, they might have saved our ass, but well, you're right. It's late. Go get some sleep. We set up the traps and we leave first thing tomorrow morning.
Fair enough.
And
sleepy time.
Brent turns and walks away.
We're not gonna move camp.
There's no point in moving camp if they already know we're here.
Yeah, I mean, if they're just leaving first thing in the morning.
Yeah, if we're leaving first thing in the morning,
it might be okay.
If they arrive and you said you wanted
near the bridge.
Hopefully we can set up watches, right?
Yeah, I mean the bridge is probably about 10 feet away from where you guys are.
Oh, okay. How wide is the bridge?
It's 10 feet wide.
Okay.
Because from what I believe, we can one person can watch for 2 hours and still get the benefits of a long rest. And a long rest is 8 hours, so there's 4 of us.
I mean, I can watch for a while because I can get a long rest from 4 hours.
That's true. So yeah, but either way, there's 4 of us, which means that we can all rest, we can all watch, and still get a long rest.
All right, so you're all gonna go ahead and do your own little watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't trust these fucking pumpkins.
Yeah, me neither.
Jesus.
I would like to go out to the center of the bridge and cast snare.
Okay.
It's gonna be real bad if one of us has to go over the bridge.
Well, that's
Yeah, no, I know. It's a good plan. It's a good plan.
Okay.
Amy, I'm just joshing you. I'm just
So you're
joshing you,
gonna
bro.
dump snare right there. Snare right there.
The trap triggers when a small, medium, or large creature moves onto the ground or the floor in the spell's radius.
Okay.
That creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be magically hoisted into the air, leaving it hanging upside down 3 feet above the ground or the floor.
Ah, neat. Neat.
So
I
neat.
like it.
Fair
That's a
enough.
neat spell. It's a neat spell.
Good
Yeah,
spell.
that's from Xanathars.
How long does it
Ah,
last?
yes.
8 hours?
Okay.
Nice.
So it'll
So if they come over in the night, we'll be good.
you'll be protected.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
And it's invisible.
Okay.
Or nearly invisible. Requiring a successful investigation check against your spell save DC,
Yeah.
which is 14. And I'm guessing these dudes are not very intelligent.
You're not wrong.
I don't think that they're stupid, but I don't think that that's their strong suit. Is just what I'm gonna say about them.
Not their dump
Okay.
stat, but it's not their math.
I
So
feel like their dumb stat's probably charisma.
your watch
Really, I'm really drawn to these ants.
your watch goes
They have a
over
certain je ne sais quoi.
The ant
without
pheromones.
it goes over without any issues.
Okay.
So
It uses 25 feet of rope, which the spell consumes. But I
okay.
have that with me, I think,
Yeah.
from my whatever pack I have.
Yeah, I think it's whatever you have. So the watch goes over without a hitch. You're able to do just fine. It is cold. It's still cold, but as you go out further onto the bridge, you feel the air start to equalize until it is almost like just a flat temperature. And the pale morning light streams through the gaps of where you guys have been sleeping, the little tiny shelters, as the sounds of patrols are plainly just audible outside. Everyone is kind of shifting around nervously. Some of the members are just dead silent, and a few of them are picking up the slack in the conversation, just speaking rapidly. Yarg is trying to find any moss on the ground or on any trees, and is not able to find anything. It's just kind of frantically like searching the trees.
Honestly, like I love all of you guys, but I'm protecting Yarg above all else.
Fair enough.
All right.
I think he's my soulmate.
It's a beautiful day to kill some ants.
Brent comes out and he's got the bag, the Santa Claus like burlap sack full of snares and spikes and stuff, and he just dumps it on the ground, and you just see a ground full of like traps sprawl out. Just with some snares. There's like a bunch of canisters attached to pressure plates. There's thin wire that is attached onto 2 little wooden poles, and there is some kind of bow hyphen pole arm. So it's like this long, it's this long kind of spear, but it also has a bow string around the head of the spear.
That's awesome.
And there's a tripwire and kind of like a rigging on that. And he just says to everyone, "All right, let's get to work. String these things up, and we're getting out of here."
Let's go.
Okay, don't go near the middle of the bridge.
No reason.
Sounds
No
good.
reason.
You know.
What's going on with this bow spear?
What's going on with the
I'm
bow spear?
intrigued.
You wanna take a look at
I
that?
wanna take a look at the bow spear.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
well,
Take a little look see at the bow spear.
What do I roll something for that?
Uh,
Can I get a free look?
yeah, you get a free look see at that thing.
Ooh, free Lexi, no charge.
So what do you wanna notice about it?
So this thing, is it like a functional spear and a functional bow?
It seems to be a functional spear and functional bow, though the tube that is the shaft of the spear is very large compared to a normal spear. It's kind of like it seems like it almost can hold. It's got about 3/4 of an inch of movement inside of it.
Oh, okay. So the spear will bend
Uh,
with the bowstring.
it's got a hole in it actually.
Interesting. Okay.
And the bowstring is
So
kind of double threaded, so it looks like a crossbow at the top, but there's a spear clearly sticking out of it.
yeah, this is some really interesting mechanics.
Um,
Has this already been set up?
uh,
Are there more, or is this the only one?
there's two of them. They've not been set up yet. But you can see a pair of your mates are working on one near the on the ground near the bridge. They're kind of like some kind of pocket ballista. They've got it propped up against a rock.
These guys got awesome weapons. What is the trap mechanic of this thing?
It seems to be a tripwire. That is, and you can see they're running probably 25 foot of tripwire, like all the way toward
Okay.
the front of the bridge, and they've strung it across it.
I'm just gonna discreetly pick up the other bow spear and inspect it to see if it can work for a half orc as a combination spear and bow for heroic purposes.
Help set up traps.
Make an insight check.
I gotta help set up these traps.
You say as you steal a trap.
12.
With a little bit of tinkering, you could definitely find a way to restring the tripwire mechanism so you could pull it with your offhand.
Great.
So
This is
theoretically, you could use it.
Good news. I also have 300 arrows, so.
Well, this is actually.
Yeah, you stole all of them before we went to Mechanus.
This is actually not an arrow so much as it is like an actual spear.
It's a bow that shoots spears?
That's sick as fuck.
Johnny!
So it's more like it's shooting javelins.
Johnny, you can't give me just a bow that shoots spears. That surely can't be allowed.
Why not? You just have to keep it reloaded.
Oh my god. This is awesome. I'm gonna steal this giant bow that shoots javelins into my tent, and I'm gonna try and start tinkering with it.
Okay. I need you to make a sleight of hand, because that's the closest analog to it.
All right.
To try to rig up a firing mechanism.
19 plus 2.
All right. With what you've learned from your orcish time, mixed with a little bit of tinkering you could do, you trigger it so where you hold your hand actually has a trigger, and there's a little tiny tripwire firing mechanism that you've made, so you could shoot it, but you can also use it as a spear at the same time.
Oh my god.
This is the greatest day of my life. This is amazing. So Johnny, do you have any idea how this would work in combat?
So it is a spear. It is a normal spear.
Okay.
And you can choose to
shoot. That's a bow that shoots javelins.
Yes, and you can choose to shoot. So it has the range of a crossbow. You could choose to shoot a javelin out of it, but it's a bonus action to reload. And if the weapon is not reloaded, it won't do the spear damage because it has no blade.
Okay, the spear bow.
Yes.
The SPO.
I was going to say the beer, but okay.
The spear bow. Okay, great. This is.
All right, Urani. The pressure in your head is still. It's starting to. It's not just the back of your head now. It's more so kind of very, very light stress headache.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Can I use my brain to try and see what the hell is going on in my head?
Enter your mind palace.
Sure, yeah, enter the mind palace.
Love to see Urani's mind palace. What's going on in there?
Yeah, can you describe to us Urani's mind palace?
Sure.
I don't even entirely know what a mind palace is.
So, Urani, the sanctum of your mind is a strange place because it is mostly monochrome. So it is mostly black and white, but there are some areas that are in such a vibrant color, and it is just you're standing in this grand foyer that kind of reminds you of a place that you've been before, and there are weapons and armor and suits of armor and a very large portrait with this entire line of figures, with very regally dressed with no faces. So it's just
So
like
Erica,
they have a face and it's just blank.
A mind palace is just a way to represent what's inside a character's head, like the things that they know. It's like a physical representation of your.
Okay, gotcha.
And you it's like Sherlock Holmes. You know, he has like all the things that he knows, and so he's like.
Listen, Michael,
he
have you ever
meditates.
watched Stephen Moffat's Sherlock? Your mind palace is a real place you can go and you can just hang out there.
No, listen. In original Sherlock Holmes, it was called his brain attic. All right. And you just focus and you imagine yourself in this place, and it's supposed to like help you or whatever. I don't know.
Okay,
it's made up.
Do I add anything to the roll, or is it just a straight roll?
Yeah, it's just a straight wisdom roll to try to break through.
Wisdom?
Wisdom. It's a wisdom check.
Ooh. 19.
Okay. You're unable to pierce anything corporeal. Whatever you're trying to get through, all of the doors are locked with chains on them, and what little color there is completely kind of like washed out. So you can't find what's causing the pressure, but it's in here, and you can tell that it's ingrained very deeply.
Okay. This is gonna be a weird question, but I want to see. You said it's like a pressure on the back of my neck, right?
It's on the back of your neck, and now it's kind of spread to a small stress headache in your temples.
Okay. Can I feel the back of my neck? Like the physical back of my neck?
Yes.
And see if there's like anything actually there?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You just have a fucking brain tumor.
So you're kind of putting your head back where you think the little like pinprick of pressure is, and there's no bump or anything. There's no scarring or anything that would kind of indicate. I mean, there's the incision scars from below your neckline, from where what happened to you in a past life, but there are no. There's nothing new back there.
Okay.
And as you and your comrades continue setting traps, Yarg abruptly turns his head and shouts in surprise, "Look! Over there!" And you can see there is a black mass seething across the bridge. Or this like grayish
one or
green.
multiple?
Do you want to make a perception check to try to spot how many there are?
Hey, bad news, guys. The spear bow only does 1d6 plus 2 damage. Really disappointing.
Well, that's only a 14.
But it looks sick as hell.
It looks very cool.
It looks sick as hell.
You can't get an exact count of how many there are. It is just
Okay.
a wave. It's just a.
Can I see? Does it look like within a 20-foot cube would be a lot of them?
Oh yeah, these guys are packed really close. They're packed really close together, but they're also in a completely orderly strand.
Okay. Are they within 60 feet?
No. It's just a stream of them. Like the whole they're coming. You can see across the bridge. They're coming out of the anthills, and they're just filing across the bridge.
Okay. Are there any of them within 60 feet?
No. They're not quite across like to the halfway point where your snare is.
Okay, then I am gonna wait for them to get into range, and I'm gonna prepare fairy fire.
Okay. So as you begin to prepare your spell, one of them belts a skittering cry, and in full relief, you could see their massive greenish-red ant bodies as they charge the narrow bridge, threatening your position. "Weapons drawn, people! Those bastards aren't getting across today!" Brent shouts, and he just pulls out this wicked-looking axe that was a wood-cutting axe, but now has a spear end and like a lacquered wooden handle. So I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative for me.
Okay, before we roll initiative, seeing these things, I'm gonna call upon the power that I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I'm just like, reaching out for these Crimson Order deities, and I cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Nice. I think that now is a good time to take a quick break. Because Amy's also disappeared.
Bye. Bye, Amy.
Bye,
Amy.
Amy's gone. Bye, Amy.
Amy.
Amy's back.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hi, Amy.
I think that right now is a good time to take a brief coffee Q&A and prize wheel break. Who's excited for the prize wheel?
I am.
I'm excited for the prize wheel.
I purposely did not try to get anything in the giveaway because I do not want any of it.
I want all of it, but I didn't enter. It's just good prizes. It's good products, guys.
Good prizes, good fun for the whole family.
I still want nothing.
Oh, God.
Good products from the Moth Company.
Great.
Oh, yeah. If you're watching the stream, go to the Instagram, the_moth_company.
The Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's still,
you should go and
still a couple seconds to register for the giveaway.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, I'm going to go.
You can get your own slimy head, which is a mind flare bag head, like purse.
Ah, it's so
not
great.
Purse,
it's like a little sack.
A pouch.
Yeah.
A pouch.
And then you get a mind flare Funko Pop.
Yes. So go stop by the Instagram.
And you made me announce all of it.
Yeah, if you haven't yet. And we're going to do that in just a minute because I'm going to go to the bathroom and let your anticipation melt. And we'll give it a couple seconds for the rest of everyone to get any last-minute entries in.
It's a great deal.
It's a great deal.
And guess how much it costs?
For the cost of nothing. For the cost of nothing.
Free. I don't know why I did a 4, but it's free.
Erica, you mind if I give you the pitch?
You guys,
mind if I give you the pitch?
It costs us some money. Don't worry about that.
It costs us some money. Erica, where'd you grow up? Where are you from? Where are you from, Erica?
Where did I?
Yeah, where'd you grow up? Where are you from?
City? Should I say the city?
I thought we agreed no doxing.
Just say a city. Just say a place. Erica, where'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up, Erica?
Arcachon, France. Oh my God.
That's great. What kind of stuff do you have over there in Arcachon, France?
Well,
what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun over there, Arcachon? Do you play a lot of RPGs over there?
In Arcachon, France, I can tell you all about it. There is the largest sand dune in Europe. Oh my God, it's Sir.
Amy, I'm trying to give Erica the pitch for the Mind Flayer pouch. You play a lot of RPGs over there in Arcachon, Erica?
I do.
And I'm sure you're familiar with one very interesting D&D monster. It's called the Mind Flayer. Also known as the
I'm going to get soda.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Gail, where'd you grow up? Where'd you grow up, Gail?
Boston.
Now, that's great to hear. Boston, home of RPGs. That's where RPGs got started, over in Boston. And that was where Gary Gygax first invented the Mind Flayer. Now, the Mind Flayer is this Cthulhu psionic creature that, it's just a great monster. It's scary, it's challenging for the party, and most of all, it's got a great head design. Now, the thing about the head design is that you got to get the whole body on there. You want to see a Mind Flayer, you got to look at this whole stupid body. But with our Mind Flayer head pouch, you can just get the head.
Oh, Wolfie, I think we already entered you in the giveaway. Anyway, if you admitted that you had no friends, I think we did that already for you. Because, we're good, nice people.
I'm also gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this wheel of prizes set up, and God, I'm so excited. It's a really big step. My next step is I want to get us sponsored by Samurai Punk. Brilliant friends at Samurai Punk in Melbourne, Australia. They make amazing merch. I wear it all the time. This isn't an ad, I promise. But their merch, it's so cool. It's like feudal samurai stuff mixed with cyberpunk aesthetic. It's just perfect for every occasion. Weddings, bar mitzvahs, sitting around the house.
What is for bar mitzvahs?
Oh, I'm plugging Samurai Punk's merch. because I love Samurai Punk so much. Their shirts are so comfy.
Bar mitzvahs, weddings, and I'm like,
oh my god, dude! They make these great cotton shirts with so cool designs. I swear I'm not sponsored by them, but I'm
can
gonna
I plug something?
go ahead. If it's gonna be
I'd
Wegmans,
like to plug
no.
the movie WALL-E. I love it so much. I would die for it.
We're not.
It is such a deep plot, and I
Oh my
enjoy it. You
God.
need to go watch it right now. That was the whole plug.
Yeah, but your
I
plug
just
was a
really
lot
like
less
WALL-E.
subtle. I mean, mine wasn't either. So Gail, got anything to plug?
Well, we're currently working on a website for the Moth Company on WordPress. It's not gonna be up very soon, but
when were you telling us about this?
I told you about it.
We've been talking about it for
When
the
did
past
you
few
do
weeks.
It was a while ago.
I have the memory of a toaster strudel.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite Erica quote.
I have the memory of a toaster strudel.
Yes.
Yeah, I also have the athletic ability of a chicken nugget. I said that once in gym class, and a volleyball hit me in the back of the head 2 seconds later.
It's been 10 days.
That's too many days.
Yeah, you did. You told us.
I didn't.
Still waiting for the exciting wheel of prizes. I haven't even transferred us over to like the wheel of prizes screen yet because it's just it's so beautiful. Yeah, so samuraipunk.com. Use the code WELCOME for 5% off at checkout. They're doing a wonderful sale right now on their comfortable t-shirts, their cool pins, and they've got some nice hoodies too that I'm unfamiliar with.
You want me to send them a letter to see if we can get sponsored? Can't.
Oh, I was gonna send them a letter myself. I was gonna beg. I love their stuff.
Well, you don't want the PR manager to do it?
Yeah, maybe if you wanted to. But I was thinking like if we did a cyberpunk game or something like Shadowrun, that would be better. But also, I'm not object to it because I love their clothes. They're great.
I'll totally look into getting clothes.
Hell yeah, brother! I'll show myself for them.
Shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, the one I love the most, the absolute best, Baby Yoda.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Ron Perlman.
I don't even know who that is, but Baby Yoda, the love of my life. Yes, I have a Baby Yoda phone case. Yes, I would die for him, and yes, I want to hug him so badly.
We're just there. Anyone watching right now is just watching us plug random objects, and I think it's really bombing out our viewership. They're gonna come back and be like, "What do we miss?" Be like, "Oh, giveaway, plot points." We're just plugging
hold
anything.
on. Well, I have one more thing to plug that's
great.
absolutely random.
Keep her going.
Diet Pepsi, go drink it.
Come on, man.
No.
You knew I was gonna do it.
Dude. Matt's here. It should have been Ron Perlman, Matt. I'm telling you.
The best. I love them so much.
Ron Perlman's dude. He was great in Uncut Drive. He wasn't in Uncut Gems.
Here for a second, but
should have been Ron Perlman.
Stuff on my head.
All right, are we all back? Because I'm ready to spin the wheel of prizes. Oh yes, coffee break. I forgot about that.
You goose. You absolute buffoon. I can't hear anything anyone's saying, but it's worth it.
Is me or is Erica looking really cool suddenly?
You made me laugh.
So yeah, if you're just tuning in, you missed our wonderful plugging festival that we had there.
I plugged WALL-E, Baby Yoda, Diet Pepsi, and cheese balls.
I plugged Ron Perlman and Samurai Punk. SamuraiPunk.com. Use the code WELCOME for 5% off. Wonderful sale right now. Comfortable merch. Oh, it's wheel time. It's time for the wheel of prizes, people. I know this is...
Time for the wheel of prizes.
Oh, yes. Please, put on your hats for wheel of surprises.
Wheel time. No, I didn't just throw those across. Also, shout out to this blanket that I have that I named Grayson because it's gray.
That's how I am gonna name my kid based on. No, never mind.
Alrighty, we
I also named it Gray because I was in a campaign and one character I absolutely loved was named Grayson Edragor, and I loved him. It also made me think of Dick Grayson, which then made me laugh.
Alrighty, everyone, it's time for the Moth Company Wheel of Prizes. Thank you very much for joining us today. I got the boom mic coming through. Woo, woo, woo! Yeah, I don't know if they can hear you, but I will probably change that so they can. Yeah, I'm going to add the local audio in for a minute. Audio output capture, add existing, local audio. Okay. Okie dokie, artichokes. I hope you're all ready for the new and improved Moth Company Wheel of Prizes. Let's get spinning. Alright, so we're going to go. This one is going to start off our prize drawing with the wonderful Slimy Head bag for all of your gaming and otherwise needs. Let's see who's going to get the special Wheel of Prizes. It's going to be Midnight Nightmare on Instagram. Everyone give it up for our first winner.
Yay!
I'm going to remove that wonderful person from the wheel. Thank you very much for playing. I'm actually going to write this stuff down. So we will get in touch with you guys if you have won anything. We will send you a DM.
Wolfie, was that you? Because I saw you just said what?
I think that wasn't Wolfie, which I entered because, I just felt bad. Not that I felt bad, but you were honest. You were honest, and we appreciate honesty here. So we're gonna give another big ol' spin of the Moth Company Wheel of Prizes. Let's go ahead and do it, people. This is for the Mind Flayer Funko Pop. Who is gonna get it? It's gonna be Matt with the hat.
I get it. Wish I was on the wheel.
We'll get ourselves Mind Flayer Funko Pops. We'll sign them. I was thinking about getting the merch and signing it. So we'll give you that option if you want it, or not. But yes, give it up for Matt with the hat. Thank you guys for participating in the Moth Company Wheel of Prizes. It's been a great 5 episodes so far, and we are looking forward to continuing the fun and probably maybe bringing out the Wheel of Prizes again, but for nothing.
We cannot wait until we can play in person again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We've been...
Thank you.
About a month.
We've been asked already. I went over to see our lovely proprietor at Centerfield Cards and Comics, and he was asking us when we were coming back.
Yeah, around August 20th, when we'll be back in New York State.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to it already. So we'll have to talk about format changing, but that will be a discussion for us to have in private, and not for the Wheel of Prizes.
Do not mention it to the Wheel of Prizes.
Do not mention it to the Wheel of Prizes.
It will
not
feel
talk
ashamed.
of logistics in front of the Wheel of Prizes.
The Wheel of Prizes is without...
Cover the Wheel
The
of
Wheel of
Prizes.
Prizes is
Cover
not
its ears.
a pickle god.
It is a wheel, but it is also prizes. So I'm going to transition back because I had the analytics on screen for a second there. So
imagine
whatever.
being a wheel, but also being a prizes.
Wow.
Oh, dude, Bossa Nova music,
Imagine
for those of you who need anything, is fantastic for backing music. It's my one great vice in life. Like, I'll be making lunch, and I'll also have Bossa Nova music on in the background. So that's my last plug, as we will return to the wonderful exploits of the Moth Company, who are now rolling initiative. What did we get, team?
Oh, I got.
Hey,
I have my roll.
20.
Oh, I also got a nat 20.
I rolled a
Okay.
19.
What's your
Did
what's
I
your dexterity?
actually get the lowest out of
+3.
all of us?
Mine is +2, so you go first. I'll give you this one, Amy. You can go first.
And I have a prepared action.
Okay, and
18.
18. That's a really good. That's a
Dude.
really good array, guys.
19.
Destroy
20,
these.
20,
But
18.
Destroy
Damn.
these ants.
I've got the highest dex out of all of us too, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you had the best. Okay,
I
so
just rolled a nat 20.
in order it will
I rolled a
go.
17.
It will go Erden, then
Plus two.
Kato, then Urani, then Maya, and then the Horde.
Yay.
I've got the horde.
We must be strong.
Well, everyone, let's get it rolling. So there's a seething mass of ant creatures blasting their way across the bridge. and you guys are on the front lines.
Okay, so I have my prepared action. If I do something else, will that like cancel that?
No, I don't see why not.
Okay, well then I'm gonna summon the Hawk Spirit, which, let's see. Everyone gets advantage on ranged attack rolls against targets.
This is great.
And
This is great for the spear bow. This is awesome for Maya too.
It's a 30-foot radius, so can I fit like all of us in it?
7.
Oh yeah, of course.
With ranged attacks.
Then yeah.
So you have a 20% chance.
Advantage on ranged attacks.
You have two 10% chances to crit. Nice.
All right.
And then I have the fairy fire prepped for when they get within 60 feet.
Okay. Yeah, so that'll go off as a reaction.
Saves.
Okay. Kato, it is your turn.
Kato is going to bonus action, load the spear bow.
Okay.
It's time for the spear bow.
So you've taken the javelin and you have pulled it back, and you've pretty much you've cocked this bow because it's a weird mechanism because it's a spring inside, and the spear itself is hollow, and you just put the point in it. So you've cocked it.
Patoo. I make my attack roll.
Okay, sweet.
With advantage.
With advantage.
With advantage.
I'm sorry, I don't have any ranged attack weapons.
It's okay, neither do I. That's why I'm just gonna buff everyone for this fight.
I got a 10 and a 9. That's a 14.
Okay, so neither you fire your spear bow, and you are caught up in the idea of shooting a spear out of a bow, and
wow, this is so cool.
You whiff it, and you see it takes momentum and flies through the air, and it flies over the bridge, and it slows down and actually suspends itself like in air, slowly floating.
What?
Did you trigger my trap?
No, he's fired it. So it's fired it over the bridge into the ether.
I really yelled that, but I was angry.
Ether?
Yeah, into the ether.
What? Is it gonna do that forever? Wow, this is a cool bow. So unless somebody has like a ranged weapon that they can hand me, I don't really have any ranged stuff. Yeah, if you could hand me your crossbow on your turn, that'd be a good. But
I think I have a crossbow.
Okay, I'm gonna ready. Can I ready a bonus action?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna ready. You don't have a crossbow, or you do? Okay. Can you hand it to me on your turn?
Yeah, that should count as a...
Yeah, that would just be an object interaction.
Yeah, it's a minor action. That's minor action.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ready a bonus action so that when I get handed the crossbow, I will light it with my crimson right.
Okay.
Which attaches to the crossbow and not just the arrow. So
got it.
It'll keep going. Yeah, it'll keep staying.
Okay, is that Urani's turn?
Yeah.
All right, Urani, it is your turn.
Okay, is there one that looks to be the leader?
Not that you can discern right now.
Yeah, the leader ant.
The leader ant.
It should have a big hat, like the Pope. It should have a big Pope hat.
You can't discern any big Pope hats in the area.
Yeah, no, ants are big on the papacy.
Are they within 90 feet?
Yes, they are getting closer. In fact, they have triggered within the 60-foot range, so if you'd like to make the spell attack, Airden.
Okay. It's not an attack. They have to make dexterity saves.
Okay, so they have to make dexterity saves.
Everything that enters in there?
What? No, just everything within a 20-foot cube of where
What's the DC?
14.
Oh, so that's a fail.
So it can catch multiple things.
That's a fail.
Yeah, it's a radius because fairy fire. What it does is anyone who fails is outlined in green light, and attack rolls against them have advantage.
Okay.
But we already have advantage.
So 2 of them.
Yeah, but now it's not just ranged attack.
So 2 of them are ringed in a green light. The first 2 that have charged across the bridge. And you can see from over your shoulders, 2 arrows are shot at them. And they are shot cleanly between the eyes, and both of them quickly fall, as it seems like your patrol has joined in the battle.
Thank you, patrol.
So it's Urani's turn now.
Okay.
Okay. Come
First
on,
of
Urani.
all,
Cool.
I'm going to be using 2 sorcery points to make it twin spells.
Yes,
So
kick
that-
ass, kick ass.
I can hit 2 targets instead of just 1, and then I'm going to be using Mind Thrust.
Okay, sweet.
The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed
Okay.
save, it takes 3d6, and it has to choose, and it can't take a reaction until the end of its next turn. It also has to choose between a move, an action, and a bonus action on its next turn.
Okay.
So it can't take. It has to.
It can only take 1.
What was the DC?
Yeah. DC's 13.
Okay.
Both of them have to do this.
That's a 5. That's a 4, so 1 fails. And that's a success. So 1 of them has failed.
Okay. Then, oh god. 9 damage then? Because that's
Okay.
3d6 averaged.
Yep.
That's just the cat messing with my lamp. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. So 9 damage for 1, and whatever 9 divided by 2 is damage for the other one.
Okay. So
and the one that failed next turn has to pick between movement, action, and or bonus action.
So
friendship ended with Slimy Head. Urani is my new best friend.
So you have. How does the spell manifest? Is it a spell or is it a
physical or psychic disruption into the mind of a creature?
Okay, awesome. So they are charging, and immediately one of them like snaps its head back and stops and starts to twitch uncontrollably.
I hope nobody
ground.
in the audience has epilepsy.
Yeah, imagined epilepsy. Or no, sorry.
No, I'm talking about my horrible
your lamp,
lamp.
yeah. So one of them breaks and stops and begins to twitch rapidly,
Awesome.
and it seems to have been interrupted in whatever it's doing. And the other one is dazed, and you can see it skip a step, and well, it is off balance, and as it skips a step, it hits the side of the railing and tumbles off. And you can see it. It begins to fall and then slowly loses speed until it is suspended in air, just kind of flatly.
So it doesn't matter that it succeeds the save, because now it's off the side of the bridge.
All right, that will pass turn to Maya.
Take that.
All right, let's go with all reliable. Just gonna aim for the one that's in the front.
Okay, you're gonna aim for the nearest one.
That's critical.
Okay, so you
Yes.
draw your arrow back and let it loose right as one of them is swinging its spear in a whooping kind of like war movement, and it pierces it right between the its insectoid eyes, and you see its spear drop and stab another one of its cohorts in the chest.
Can't be good for morale.
Which fells both of them, but it does not stop the relentless charge.
Alright. Well,
I love how the one guy's just like, don't do anything heroic, and we're like, by the way,
surge to do it one more time.
Give him another nice. Yeah, so give it a nice.
And that's a 18.
18? Alright.
I think their AC is 15.
So that hits.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So.
Damage.
Yep. So it punctures one of them in the foot, and you can see as it's running, it tears its leg off as it keeps running. So you've pretty much left its leg implanted with an arrow, and it is still charging toward you. So that will pass turn to the horde.
No, the crossbow. Oh God.
Oh yeah, the crossbow. You get it. You get the crossbow.
What kind of crossbow is it?
Light crossbow.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
We're just kicking ass a bit too much.
All right, so you are able to. You're able to do a little bit of damage, but the horde is still charging toward you. Several of them have become mounted within the snare, and by several I mean about 10 or 20, because they're just charging recklessly into it. And at this point, you could see, though some of them are suspended in air, they've kind of made a ceiling with their bodies, and others are able to get through still. So 5 of them have broken through, and they're going to try to get at Kato.
Nice try, idiots. I also, if they hit me, they're gonna take 5 cold. Damn it, they're immune to cold damage. I'm an idiot.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Well, it
I
also
still,
has.
At least I have temporary hit points from where we're Agathis.
Yes, and it has, and they have disadvantage on their attacks.
Imagine
means...
using a spell well. Couldn't be me.
Kato's AC is 16.
Couldn't be me.
All right.
Imagine not using a spell. Couldn't be me.
So
Yeah.
their spears, they chuck their their black, strange spears at you, and they glint off your armor. And I want you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Doesn't bode well. That's an 8.
As it glints off, you're able to grab one of them by the haft, the very end of the shaft, and you can use a bonus action to reload your crossbow with it.
Cool.
The DC to succeed was a 7.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you just skirted in on that one. All right, so they made their attacks against you, and you can see now they're really getting in close, and one of them trips a tripwire, and you see a quick fireball jet up on the bridge, and a bunch of them are ignited, and they are flailing as fire spreads all over their bodies. So that will pass turn to Aridin.
Do they seem to be taking any extra damage from fire?
No. In fact,
Okay,
it seems like they're kind of shaking it off quickly.
Okay, could I
Okay, fire resistance.
use fog cloud to like cover up our whole group and give them disadvantage on hitting us with ranged attacks like we had cover?
Sure, yeah.
Aridin,
Okay,
you are
coming in clutch.
I cast fog cloud.
Man, we gotta start planning more.
So
yeah,
you
this is great.
So you quickly
I
dump
never thought
a.
that buffing could feel so powerful.
So you quickly dump a fog cloud, and it's a small vortex that spins out in the center, and it's just shh, and a thick cloud of fog, of dew begins to cling to you, as it seems that some of the snow has melted and contributed to the fog of cloud. The fog of cloud. Yes. So yes. So your fog cloud has succeeded. And you can see that Brent has ordered a charge.
No, we're doing so well with ranged attacks. Why would you charge? All of our buffs are for ranged attacks. Brent, strategy, my man.
I mean, hey.
And there is a rousing cry of battle cry from the rest of the patrol.
Alright, well, bye guys. It was nice seeing you
Yarg,
live.
Can I like call Yarg over?
Yeah.
Yarg. I don't think that's a good idea.
All right.
Stay in the fog.
Guys,
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's fine.
So they
follow their commanding officer, I guess.
Brent quickly looks, does a double take after you say that, and he looks at the horde and he's like, "Take up defensive positions," and they quickly reroute to the traps and some of the cover that they've set up. So it looks they're trying to set up a grinder.
Yeah, that's what we're going for here, Brent.
Jobless.
That will pass turn to Kato, unless Aridin, you have any more actions you need to take.
Nope, I'm good.
Now,
All right.
Here's the thing, guys. I do more damage with a light crossbow than I do with this stupid spear bow.
But isn't the spear you have poisoned? Or was it just their tail things that had poison?
Yeah, no, I think it's just their tails.
Okay. Well, never mind. Ignore me.
But also, I could charge into melee, and I'd be dealing. I'd be using my longsword, which is a D10. Do you think it's worth it to charge into melee?
Maybe not
lose
yet.
your advantage, and
yeah, I mean, I'd still have advantage.
On a ranged attack.
Yeah,
no.
the advantage is only on ranged attacks.
No, but the fairy fire.
Oh.
Yeah, the fairy fire was only on 2, and those 2 are dead, right?
Yeah, the fairy fire only worked on those 2 that you caught as you were running
really?
around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I'll spark up the light crossbow. So I take 3 damage. So I'm at 25 hit points, and I am going to make an attack with the light crossbow.
Okay, go ahead.
Woo!
That's an unnatural 20.
Okay.
So I'm dealing 1d8.
All right. So you cock the crossbow back. Don't even worry about it. So you cock the crossbow back, and with an electrified bolt, you see a little thin line of electricity following behind your crossbow bolt, and it pierces the heart of one of the bugs, and you could see a nimbus of electricity run through its veins
For the
as
record,
it like spasms.
For the record.
Yeah.
For the record. For the record, I'm doing 8 damage.
For the record. Urani, you're up.
Okay, don't judge me.
You're up.
I know
I mean, I also know the song from TikTok.
Go ahead.
There you go. Okay, would it be possible to cast sleep on the whatever one is in the front so it trips up literally as many as it can behind it?
Oh yeah, sure. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Killing it with the strategy.
Killing it. We're strategizing.
Hell to the yeah.
This is a real shift for the Moth Company, guys.
We're going into
strategy. We're into strategy now.
There we go, baby.
Fully new for us.
All right, what I do?
We get into tactics now.
So does
really
it do,
down in the dirt?
Does it do a DC? It has to do with DC.
It's based on hit points. I don't think they can.
You roll 5d8. The total is how many hit points of the creature this spell can affect. I don't entirely know what that means.
Oh no, they don't have very many hit points. You're gonna destroy these. Yeah. Okay, so the way that it works.
Okay. Yeah, Michael, you.
Okay, it's 5d8. So you roll 5d8, and then, so any creature within the radius, you start with the lowest creature. You subtract their hit points. All right. They fall asleep. And then you go up, and you keep going until you run out of hit points to subtract. If you can't subtract a creature's hit points, then it doesn't fall asleep.
Well, interesting thing about that, since everything's average, that means each roll would be 4. And 5 times 4 is 20. How many hit points do these things have, Johnny?
I'm not telling you.
Johnny.
But Johnny, you do put about 4 or 5 of them to sleep.
Nice.
All the ones in front, because I want to like make a barrier of them.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you just put them to sleep, and you see 4. Yep, you see 4 or 5 ants collapse, and they have been knocked prone, and they are now trapped in a little fire. So there's a small fire kind of flaring up.
You're good at tactics now.
Basically, I made a wall of their friends that are now unconscious, and there's a fire.
Okay, so Brent. At this point, Brent looks out and he's like, all right, guys. Now is as good of a time to go as any. If the group starts to retreat,
you're right. You guys head out of
starts to retreat.
You guys head out of here.
Yeah, I mean, we aren't going back anyways, right? We got places to be.
We got places to be.
Don't we need like a ride to the?
We got anthills
from the town.
And you also, if you recall, you also needed to pick up your commendation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. We can do that after we kill all these ants.
It is still They are still streaming toward you. No,
Okay,
it's just it's just a thronging mass of
I mean, the
Have
more
we
undead.
ants,
made
the
like
merrier.
have we made a dent?
Um, it doesn't seem like it.
Well, we're running out of abilities. Is the thing. We're gonna run out of abilities.
It doesn't, and the traps have already been triggered.
I'm gonna turn to Brent and say, how important is this bridge?
This bridge is the only thing between us and them, and it's not worth sacrificing people over.
I mean,
We've
should I
already.
cut the bridge?
You can't cut the bridge. The bridge is. They don't get cut.
No, we can fuck up this bridge.
We
You
can
want us to
kill
get
this
rid of the bridge?
Then that means you don't have to worry about the problem ever.
No, we're supposed to trap the bridge. We've done our job. I'm calling a retreat. I know you guys
Why?
are your own people, but I'm calling a retreat.
Yeah, I think we should maybe go.
Yes.
Okay, but aren't they gonna keep?
Smartest option
They're gonna keep.
would be retreat.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to keep trying to come over the bridge, but I think we've dissuaded them for now, which was the goal.
What's the point of having the bridge? Is it like so that people from here can access other places?
Yes, if you don't have a ship, which most people on Falls Top don't, but they need to travel on foot.
We have to take the ant bridge.
Is this the only bridge?
This isn't the only bridge off the cog, but this is the only bridge in this direction, and Mechanus law forbids anyone from breaking the bridges.
Okay. Well, we already have a court summons.
Yeah.
Listen, we all love law.
We are not doing this.
Listen, folks.
I am
Sorry.
not.
We all
Getting
love
us
law.
in trouble.
Everyone here
I
loves
forgot
law.
for a second how much I love the law.
We all love law.
How much you abide the law.
We love abiding the law.
How much I love and consistently obey the law.
If there was a better way to get across, then I feel like we should do it. But we don't know that there is right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Zipline?
Maybe we could figure out some way, like, a plank that you could lay over. But it sits over on this side. It sits over on this side.
This bridge should really have a gate.
I don't think a gate's gonna do much.
It'll do something.
I don't know. Then we gotta get the manpower to build a gate.
I mean, so we're retreating, right?
Yeah, we are retreating.
We're talking this out while we're.
Yeah, you're running. Or you're not running, but you're retreating.
Style barricade.
So, the battle for the bridge has been decided. The snowy ground is marred with splashes of green blood, and rubble from your traps is scattered everywhere. The bridge is unchanged, save for the scattered bodies of the ant-like creatures all over it, and the arrows and other debris from your own men. Brent and the rest of the patrol are clearly in high spirits, and they are all very happy about their victory. And Brent puts his axe.
Victory.
He puts his axe back in his scabbard and
says,
said,
"The U.S. won the Vietnam War."
Topical.
And he says, "Come on, people, let's get home." And the trek is of very little note. You're able to make it back with little incidents. Yarg has taken some samples of moss, and everyone is in pretty good spirits. And they're all kind of bragging about their, or not bragging about their victory, but more so they're clearly happy and in a good mood that they're all alive.
Guys, I'm having if there are ships that you can get or buy or build, why doesn't somebody just make a ferry?
That's a good point.
Why not just have like a taxi?
Why don't we just make guys, we gotta corner this market.
Yeah, what's the public transportation situation like?
We gotta corner this market, gang.
Mechanus.
We definitely could.
We could corner this market. Because then they can't even come over. I don't think they know how to build ships. They're fucking ants.
I don't think they do either.
So you guys have made it. You've hiked your ass up the stairs up to Falls Top, and there are all sorts of villagers bustling around, and the guards are looking at Brent in confusion. So you're telling me all of you guys survived?
Did we take
Crazy.
any like ant?
Who
I mean,
could
I
have
don't think
predicted
I'm
it?
dead. Do I look pretty dead to you?
All right, that's not nice.
I'm a ghost.
I'm
Alright.
sorry.
They open the doors, and both of them share a hearty laugh. And there's a loud ovation from the small square, Falls Top Square. And there are the families of the men who left. There's like sons hugging their fathers, and it's a very heroic scene. And Brent just kind of goes and disappears off into the crowd. And you guys can spot there's a different face among the bustling crowd of villagers. There's a tall, wizened orc with a short beard and only one tusk, who's just kind of standing there with a burlap sack over his shoulder.
My
And
buddy.
he
It's worth $7 o'clock.
briefly makes eye contact with you, Eridan, and kind of nods respectfully in your direction, and just
Oh
kind of
boy, guys, here comes trouble.
goes around. But he doesn't make any moves forward.
Oh, I thought we were friends.
Well, it's not like it's more like he's just kind of waiting for the crowd to subside. Like everyone's,
Also, you're with me, and me and him don't get along.
It cancels out.
Yeah,
It's
cancels out
complicated, like
so that
Ted,
it's
and
like you
so
guys
overall,
don't know each other.
Do
Yeah.
you think that this is like a parade-worthy achievement?
For them, sure. You can see
Do they
plainly
get, like a
plastered,
holiday?
We
plastered on their faces is the look of we're gonna go celebrate and like go drinking. We're gonna celebrate
like
the fact that everyone has lived.
I'm not drinking again.
Do you think that are there going to be statues of us here now?
Probably not.
Eridan, I'm not like a glory guy. I don't try to be conceited. I would like a parade. We deserve a parade.
I would really like a parade.
I could
Not
use
like
a parade, right now.
Why would you want a parade?
So Mikas has
Why don't we just throw our own parade?
Mikas has worked his
Can we
way.
like go to the
No.
mayor and be like, hey, give
No,
us a parade?
Okay, we should not have a parade.
Why?
Parades are
It's
bad.
a parade. Oh, this
How is a parade
another,
bad?
okay. This is another like all groups of people are cults thing.
No, just most groups of people are cults.
Are you sure?
How does the cult
Yes.
relate to the
Sure,
parade?
this isn't
Parades?
all
When they
groups
put
of people are
bodies on
cults.
sticks and parade them around so that everyone's terrified and stays in their homes?
No.
That's a type of parade, man. I mean,
Yeah, I mean
Irani,
that
I
is
think you need to
technically a
talk out
parade.
your feelings with someone.
You've never seen an orcish Christmas parade.
Orcs now celebrate
I've
Christmas.
seen an orc.
You've seen an orc.
Well, you.
Well, allow me to
That's great.
introduce.
Point at the
And I
other
pointed that guy.
Mikas has come over.
Oh boy.
Well,
Can we
allow
do
me
like a
to.
bro handshake?
Oh yeah, sure. Like brother grip.
Yeah. Do
Okay.
I have to roll for that?
You two know
No.
each other?
We do a complex secret handshake.
You two know each other?
Well, it is
What?
thanks to Eridan
Okay.
that the gun swallow has been fixed. So I'd like to thank you again for your help, and I'd like to introduce myself to the rest of you. And he kind of looks at you, Kato. He looks at you a little icily.
Listen, man. I'm sorry about the other night. I don't know. There's no excuse for it. It's not right.
You brought up some valid points, and I've decided to head home with your, I don't know, urging, I suppose would be the best word for it. It's not an insult. He doesn't seem like he's framing it as an insult. But I'm Mikas. I haven't met both of you guys yet, and he kind of gestures to Urani and Maya.
Hold on. I'm Urani.
Nice to meet you.
The name's Maya.
The pleasure is all mine. Well,
we could buy a few ships. Just a few.
you might you might have a good chance at El Ren.
Oh, Ren.
El
Is that
Ren,
near the
yes.
Primus?
Where's that?
Well,
Yeah.
it's quite close to the center of the Mechanus.
Oh.
And I was happening to go that way. That is, if
Give
you...
us a ride?
I think that can be arranged. I was planning on leaving in a few hours. I have a few pieces of business to attend to before I leave here, but should you need it to pack anything at the gun swallow, now is your chance.
Well, we
Thank
don't
you.
have very much, so it's fine.
All right. Well.
Yeah, we kind of weren't prepared for this trip.
It was a little unexpected.
I mean, we don't have tons of belongings.
You're right. No, this is literally all I own, but still.
Ah, very well.
Right?
Well.
I didn't really get to like pack.
All right.
Did
Well.
you have something you would have packed?
I don't know. I mean, I got trinkets and stuff.
Some nice sticks.
I can baubles.
Some good rocks.
Well, very well. I will see you all soon. And Mikas turns and starts to meld back into the crowd.
Wonder how much money we can get for this ferrying business. And
You
also, how are
probably
we
get a
gonna?
lot.
Also, how are we gonna get it transported across the plains? Across the plains.
I mean,
That's a bit of a trouble.
there is planar travel, obviously.
Well, planar travel's been shut down for a long time. We're anomalies.
Maybe we can fix that.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah, I guess we gotta get home anyway, so.
And
I don't
even if
know
we can't, then hey, we
Figure
can have a pretty good ferrying business.
Yeah, I don't know if we can reestablish planar links so that we can make money off of a ferrying business.
Oh, I mean ferrying around Mechanus, like if we can't leave Mechanus. Because
Yeah,
obviously the bridges don't seem to be working.
No, but
very
I'm
well.
saying that our reason to recover the ancient planar ties is so that we can
start a ferrying business.
So that we can get money from our ferrying.
I think the reason we should reconnect the planar ties is so we can get home. But
were we supposed to get home?
Yeah, you just want to.
Preferably.
I mean, this place seems cooler.
Well, yes, this place is cool, but preferably getting
things
home would be ideal.
I don't know.
I did have plans.
Yeah, like I have some important business.
I mean, there's orcs here. That's nice.
There's also
the one. There's the one, and he already doesn't like you.
Well, there's others probably.
So has anyone gone to the?
We don't know what else.
Excuse me.
I'm presuming we're going to the mayor's house, right?
Yeah, you guys have been walking to the offices.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also don't know what else is here. I would not like to find out.
I mean, we got the little robot guys. We got the Primus. Ants.
Kato, have you so soon forgotten your grudge?
I
mean, yeah.
There's a little.
He should be coming to me.
There's a little.
He should be coming to me.
There's a little throbbing from your wound.
I don't know if I'd call it that.
What wound? Whose wound?
Your wound. Your scar.
My wound?
Yeah. Scar? Remember when?
Oh yeah. Where is that scar?
Kaleem ran you through, like right by through your chest.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to get revenge, but like.
But look at this place, dude.
No, like.
They got cogs all over the place, man.
Gears.
we got clocks.
But like, you know,
Gears
when everybody's
and
a law-abiding citizen, it's like you kind of know who you are, you know?
Yeah, you kind of feel.
You don't have to.
You feel yourself.
You don't have to worry about what you think or what you do. You just get to
hang out,
coast along. All right, don't try to complete my sentences, Johnny.
Sorry, my bad.
You're not doing me any favors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you follow the laws and you don't get kidnapped by ants or whatever they're gonna do.
Also, you don't have to worry about being murdered all the time and kidnapped by crazy people. That's a plus.
Yeah, there's a lot of cults. I
Yeah.
haven't seen a single cult here.
I'm pretty sure there's at least like 80.
Urani,
Like there's gotta be
I think
cults
you need
on
to learn
Mechanus,
how to
right?
relax.
I mean,
This-
Urani, you make cults out of anthills, you know?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, ants are like. Maybe I should go be an ant. Like we got the hive mind or whatever. Hive mind sounds
I could
nice.
probably.
You're pretty
I think
sick.
I can. I mean, I know magic. I can probably help you with that.
Please turn me. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Please turn me into an ant. Not an ant man, just an ant.
All right, so you guys have made it
Polymorph
back.
me into an ant.
Sorry, you've made it back to
No,
the
go
town
ahead.
offices, and the guards just kind of recognize you. They nod and they let you right in, and the mayor is sitting in front of the small fireplace. There's a few logs kind of sputtering on it, and the mayor she's smoking a pipe, and you can see the thick curls of smoke kind of rising up in the air. And she seems wrapped up in whatever she's thinking about, just kind of like smoking her pipe, looking contently into the little fire, and doesn't seem to pay you any mind.
I will politely knock on the door
All right.
to alert her to
Yeah.
my presence.
She quickly snaps up and turns around.
I unpolitely say howdy.
Good to see you, the heroes of Falls Top, huh?
Now,
Yeah, we wanted to talk to you about a parade.
A parade?
I still don't think we
heroes.
need a parade.
Listen, heroes is a
Don't
strong
listen
word.
to Urani's never seen a good parade.
Heroes is
which
a strong
why
word.
we
I
need a
prefer to
parade.
call us people who deserve a parade.
Very
Yeah,
subtle.
I'm gonna just say, okay, do not listen to them. We don't need a parade.
We
Hey,
do
nobody
need a
needs a
parade.
parade.
Listen,
Nobody
we
needs a
gotta
parade.
show
We just
Urani
want
what a
one.
parade is. If you can't give us a parade, I would accept a statue.
No.
Well, I'm sorry. I can start with a commendation, I suppose. And she pulls out from a pouch from her pocket a bronze cube similar to the one that you've received earlier.
Oh.
Cube.
And she just
that cube.
Well, I suppose we can organize a parade, but it would take a few days. I mean, after all, we haven't had a parade here and
Why don't we
ever.
get the parade? Why don't we get the parade?
I
when
was
we come
thinking
back?
like a yearly event.
A yearly event.
That's
we
don't want to push our luck. We don't want to push our luck.
We do not need that.
Do you want to make a
We didn't
persuasion
save them
check?
We didn't save them that hard. We didn't save them that hard.
Yeah, sure. Make a persuasion check on them and see.
Okay.
She kind of looks at you, baffled. I'm sorry. I don't think we could do that.
Okay. Let me walk it back. Just the one parade.
I don't think.
I'm not sure.
We don't need a parade.
I mean, we can discuss perhaps.
Why don't you organize the parade and then we'll come celebrate it when we come back.
Yeah,
from
just
our
like get the parade
from our court case.
Make a persuasion check against her.
Locked and loaded.
Okay, persuasion. Here we go. That's okay. That's a 14. 14. Come on, baby. Give us our parade.
I mean, I'll see what I can do.
We don't want to push our luck. Parade or no parade, we're happy. Happier with a parade, but like
we're just happy to help.
We're happy to help.
Well, thank you
would be good.
for your help.
A parade would ensure our continued assistance.
That
Oh.
Yeah, that does sound like a mob threat.
That doesn't sit well with
her.
her.
Do not listen to them. Do not.
That was not. I say it. Airden says it, and then immediately is like, "That was not a threat."
We do not. Listen,
I cannot emphasize enough how much of a threat that was not.
we thank you very much for letting us help. We don't need a parade.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good
Is
luck
there,
in
guys, we
your
should
continuing
oh boy.
endeavors, and happy travels. And she just kind of turns around and goes into her office.
Guys, what are we doing? Why are we asking for a parade? We should ask for money.
I'm sorry
it's
on behalf of them. I'm very
too late to
sorry.
ask
She's
for
already
money now.
she's already gone.
Yeah, I
know.
did kind of threaten her by accident. It's a little late for the money.
We don't need a parade.
What if we
What's
get
the-
money from Brent? Let's get money from Brent.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
mean,
need-
Brent seems like a real.
I-
It seems he's like
I
a real
do not
dexter
think
seeming
we
ass. I
need
bet
to
we
get
could shake him
money
up.
I do not
Shake him
think
down.
I do not think we need to shake him down for money. I think we need to get on that boat. We need to go to the Primus, and then we figure out where we go from there.
I agree, but we gotta buy our ships for the ferrying business.
We can do other
No
hero-esque
offense,
work.
I don't think that's gonna pay out.
Kato, you're
It's not gonna
feeling
pan out that well.
Yeah.
okay. So might I remind you, swaying people to causes on the Mechanus is a very difficult task.
Okay.
As in it is impossible. Because like you're trying to get them to join your religious like death cult, they won't because it just doesn't make it. It's like it's too extreme.
My religious death
Well,
cult.
no, I'm not. I'm just an example.
No, I mean I was planning on starting a religious death cult.
Yes. So just as a reminder, it
the
is
Moth Company religious death cult.
it's very difficult to. It's
Your
very
Ronnie did
difficult
not
to
agree to that.
to sway.
Well, now you're a cult leader.
All right. It's
Different
very
when you're a cult leader.
It's very difficult to rouse people to very passionate causes on the
Okay.
Mechanus.
Well, still, I think maybe
I've become the thing I swore to destroy.
I think maybe hopefully we can get a commission from Brent.
No.
Okay.
Why?
So Urani,
Don't need that.
your headache has worsened just a little bit. So it's like there's this very dull soreness on the side of your temples.
Urani, explain to me how we don't need money to live or buy things.
Look,
I can't eat berries for the rest of my life. All
we
right.
do need money to live, but there are other ways to make money than forcing it out of people.
We're not.
Like
We're
robbing
asking
them when
him.
they're asleep.
I was gonna ask him.
No, we can take
You
it.
said
Taking it from
shake
them when
him
they're
down.
asleep. That's a solid.
I didn't
plan.
say that. Airden said that.
I
don't want
said
to shake
him
him
down.
Okay. Well, we're
Those are
not
both
gonna shake him
crimes.
down. If we need his money that badly, we can just rob him when he's asleep.
That's a crime.
No.
If we want a parade in this
Oh,
town,
well,
we gotta
It's not
get
a
people
crime
on
if
our
we
side.
need it more.
We don't need a parade.
We're never gonna see eye to eye. I hope this doesn't
It's
split the
because-
group.
That's it. The Moth Company's over.
The Moth Company Civil War.
Just
Split about a
listen, can you
parade.
mind meld with me real quick? And I can show you a fun parade.
Me and
Just
me
the
and
parade potential.
me and Maya just kind of stand awkwardly as they mind meld and like psychically talk to each
So
other.
for 3 hours,
Okay, well,
or
I
for a
showed.
distance of 3 miles. I think it was both.
Yeah, it's both.
I think it's both. Yeah.
I show
What I know.
Urani what a fun parade is. So now you know what a parade is.
This is a really stupid session, guys. We're so crazy on this session.
You said you wanted a goofy session, and this is what you got. This is the relief session.
So, Urani, where are you at about the parade now?
It looks fun. I don't think we really still need one. I mean, like, we don't. What is there really any benefit from it?
People are gonna know who we
Fine,
are, and they're
Urani,
gonna
I
like
thought
us.
you were cool.
We thought you were cool, Urani. Let's just neg Urani.
That's
What?
All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the point.
Does that make me not a cool kid?
What, you never been to a parade?
I can't say I have.
Airden, I think we got.
I've seen parades. They weren't very fun.
Airden, I think we got
We
to up
walk
this
in a
parade from a
line.
yearly thing to a monthly thing.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it's
weekly.
what this town needs.
every Wednesday.
Okay.
No.
Every Sunday, 7 p.m. EST.
Every Sunday, 7 p.m.
Okay. So are you guys?
We're getting on Amicus's ship.
Okay.
Talking
Yes.
about.
So getting on the gun swallow, talking
Yoda,
about the
I
parade.
want to find out Minkus's opinion on parades.
Okay.
You ever
So
been to just a really good parade?
Mikus is just kind of sitting there, and he's like, "Well, yeah, we've done the orcs. We did a parade where Kato, I'm
No,
sure
that
you
was.
could back us up. You remember the traditional flame parade where we would, the elders from every household would strap fireworks on their back, and
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
the
We
youngest get
We
to.
stopped doing those on the prime material because somebody burned to death.
Well, out here in the Mechanus, it's quite frequent. We do
That's good to
those
hear.
all the time. It's a traditional thing. I'm surprised you stopped doing them.
I know. I like it, but it's like one person burns to death and suddenly you can't have it at all. It's like
It's
we
tragic.
could introduce some safety measures.
Tragic. Well, we do have a few parades. That is one of them. But yes, I suppose a nice
See,
parade every once in a
people
while
burn to
is.
death at parades. I don't think they're very fun.
We just had like floats and bands and stuff. That sounds
All right. So
so
you
fun.
guys are on the dock,
like
getting on the gun swallow.
you tie something around something?
What?
Like
Tying something around something.
yeah, like a band.
No, like oh.
Oh, honey.
You know about music.
What music is? Oh,
Band
that
make
kind of
music.
band.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
All right. So you're getting on the gun
There's a
swallow.
lot going on right now.
And
I'm glad you knew it because I don't know how I was going to explain to you what music is.
it's a small ship that can fit you. It's a little snug for 5 of you, but it seems to do the job. And Mikus is at the helm, and there's a belch of black smoke that comes out from the engines, and it starts to lift off very. I wouldn't say hesitantly, but you could tell it's listing on one side a little bit, and Mikus is like trying to hold it steady.
Okay.
He's like,
I'm
"All
gonna
right,
go around and
everyone.
look for more things to fix.
All right."
I'm gonna go around and help fix things too to the best of my abilities.
Okay.
Maya's just going around and investigating every little thing she can.
Okay. Maya, make an investigation check.
I'm just sitting
That's
down like a
more.
normal passenger.
What'd you get?
That's a big one.
19.
I'm invested in this ship.
So you're looking around and you're able to find how the ship actually works, or the mechanism that would travel through the planes on it, which seems to be a localized portal cannon that's mounted on the bottom of the ship. And there's
That's such a Johnny. That's a sick fucking combination of words. Portal cannon.
Portal cannon.
That
portal cannon
rules.
mounted on the underside of the ship. So it's this long, probably like 12-foot long cannon.
Portal cannon mounted on the ship.
Yeah. So it's just like
Oh my
peeking
God.
out of the front of
Yeah.
the helm, so you could just like see it.
Mikas, how much did you pay for this bad boy?
This ship was actually my father's, so I inherited it when I inherited the family business.
Do you know how much ships typically cost? We were thinking about starting a ferry business, seeing as a bunch of ants keep coming over the bridge and killing people.
Yeah.
No.
Seems like
The ants?
Public transportation is in order, is all we're saying.
You mean
They-
like the Formians?
Formians?
That's
Sure.
a thing?
Yeah, I think they're called Formians.
Oh, the Formians aren't trying to come over just that bridge.
Oh.
Yeah,
Then
no.
why?
Yeah, we knew that.
And
Did you not know that? Really?
No, I did
No.
not.
They have multiple bridges. I think they're trying to come from each of them.
and as you're flying along in the ship, you can actually see a cog that was once a very dense forest. you could just see like trees are being cut down, and there are large mounds, like anthills, starting to pop up all over the cog. So it's kind of like half
Yeah.
of it's a forest and half of it's a just anthill, like wasteland.
Then we definitely it'd be probably a good idea if we like sort of eliminated the bridges and started sort of a ferry business, but maybe not business, but sort of a ferrying thing going. So then people
Business.
would be able to travel more safely across the cogs.
Well, a ship requires quite a bit of capital to invest in.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking thousands of gold at least, or a similar loan. Um, and
Do you think government funding?
as you're flying by this cog, you could see a strange boxy vessel. It is a vessel, a long vessel, probably about 50 feet long. It is constructed out of little golden bronze squares, and it's just this small, long ship with no mast. And there there is just shit. You can just see it is firing cannons on the Formian hives, and it's just like two or three of those ships are just shelling the hell out of the Formian hives. Like you're
Nice.
seeing
Oh,
dust
the classic
and like
bombing.
dead bodies and like body parts flying everywhere.
The classic bombing.
So they're just like glassing the surface of the cog.
It really would
Formians
be
weren't
like
trying to
that.
attack us. I would feel a little bad about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, um, and that's
So we
Mikas
put
is
in.
Mikas is just looking at this like a normal everyday occurrence.
I'm just trying to think about how this ferry business would vary for us.
I mean, if we wanted,
Thank
we
you.
could always see if we could get it like government funded.
Erden, you are looking around for things to fix in the ship, correct?
Yes.
All right, so you've gone down to the engine room and it's full of black smoke. Like it's like
Okay.
black smoke.
I'm
Can
gonna
I go
yell for
help?
Mikas.
Yeah. Yeah. What seems to be the problem, Erden?
Smoke. A lot of smoke.
The engine's probably backfiring again. Can somebody take the wheel? I'm gonna have to go fix this.
Maya will like
All right.
rush up to help.
All right. All you have to do, Maya, is just keep it straight and try not to hit anything. And he's got it pretty well situated between like openings between the gears. So all you'd have to do is keep it straight. And he quickly kind of hands off the wheel to you and rushes downstairs.
Durrani is trying not to be too starstruck by the fact we are literally flying right now,
Okay.
and sort of failing to hide it.
Oh, Maya makes no attempt to hide how absolutely nerded out she is.
You guys never been flying before?
No,
Not that cool.
I mean maybe.
It's regular.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably not.
So
I mean,
Eridan,
it could be regular and still cool.
Mikas has joined you below decks, and he's got a set of tools with him, and he's kind of like starting to try to put the. He's like, all right, disconnect the fuel line for a moment. We're gonna need to let it coast.
Okay. I do that.
All right. So you pull the fuel line out, and Maya, you feel the ship lurch. Um,
Oh no.
it's like, and
It.
and
I think you're
Well,
fine.
let's keep it straight.
Mikas is like, all right, all we need to do, right, is just I'm gonna hit the engine a couple times, and hope that solves whatever's jammed up in there, and then you're going to disconnect the fuel line so we don't fall out of the sky, or don't stop moving.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
All right, I'm just gonna need you to make a dex check, and he's gonna make one as well
Come on, Erden.
to whack the hell out of the ship. Okay. All right. What did you get for the
Okay,
check?
I got a 22.
All right.
Oh
Nice.
damn!
So Mikas takes a ball peen hammer and wraps it against the side of. So the engine is like it's like a turbine in an enclosed capsule. So it's this bronze capsule that's mounted down on the floor, and it kind of sticks out of the back of the ship. And it's just this turbine and like a bunch of other fuel pipes and stuff kind of going with it. And he whacks it with the ball peen hammer, and you hear the turbine start to spin up again. And he's like, "All right, plug it in now!" And you quickly jam the fuel line back onto where it goes, and Maya, you feel the ship regain thrust as it starts to move again.
Epic gamer moment.
This is so cool.
And Kato, you hear a rumbling noise from a cog that you're passing right next to. And
okay,
just like
I stand up and try to look over at it, see what it is.
All right, so you look over at it, and you see the dirt kind of foaming, and it's like something is clawing its way out, and poof, out comes this mile-long purple spiked creature. It's just streaming out of this hole.
Oh boy!
Like
in the way?
Oh yeah, it's right dead set in front of you.
I think we got a purple worm, folks.
We got what?
I'm gonna run to my pull up.
Do not hit the worm.
Do not.
It's just a huge worm, and you are getting closer and closer to it.
Wheel?
Yeah, it's a ship wheel, but there's two pedals on either side of the floor.
We've never flown before. Which one is up?
Okay, I'm gonna try and figure out which one is up.
Well?
Oh yeah, you guys are down. You guys are below deck.
I've seen a ship, but never, seen.
Yeah, make a history check for me.
Okay.
I've recently
17.
Okay.
17.
So you think it's the left one because it's pitching the engine, so it's gonna pitch reverse of the.
Great. I just
inverse.
slammed down on the left.
All right. So Airden, you are thrown against the back of the. You're thrown against the back of the wall. I need you guys to make a dex saving throw to avoid any objects that are moving around as you.
Wait, all of us?
Yes, because there are barrels and things flying around.
I rolled an out one.
All right.
6.
Airden, you are hit with a large piece of pine lumber, and you fall unconscious.
6.
6. Kato, you are hit with the mast as it swings around to try to compensate for the wind. So you will take 4 damage, and you are knocked onto the floor, breathless. What did you get, Urani?
17.
All right, Urani, you're able to nimbly dodge a barrel that is rolling toward you, and you can just see the sandworm's pines, like it's got spikes on its sides. You can see the ebony sandworm's spikes right over your head as Maya tries to swing the ship around to avoid it. And Maya, what'd you get?
So instead of going up, it goes under?
Yeah, you've actually gone under it.
Oh, cool.
So you shot the ship in the wrong direction. You've gone under it. Is it
actually a purple worm?
It's a purple worm.
Okay, cool.
Is that like an actual
because I mean
creature in D&D?
Yeah, I mean a lot of a lot of blood hunters. There's a lot of scientific names for creatures. Most of them are for the same thing or different things.
Yeah, it's a purple worm.
Great.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this thing is huge. You've only seen the skeleton. You've only seen the skeleton of it. You've never actually seen a live one. Maya, what did you get on the dexterity saving throw, by the by?
I got an 11.
Okay. Maya, you are hit in the gut and knocked breathless with the wheel. So you just boom! It just hits you in the lung. So I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving throw to regain your breath.
Oh, I'm better at those. 18.
Okay. You're quickly after heaving breathlessly for a few seconds, you are able to get some air in your lungs, and you're just seeing the purple worm is burrowing into the other cog and kind of digging, and just like digging its way into the next area. Yes, and Meek he's got a welt from where something has hit him on his arm, and he comes up above Tex. So, what in the hell happened? Just out of curiosity.
You know,
A really big purple
Unconscious.
worm.
Oh, you're still
purple worm,
unconscious.
you
Do you
know,
want to make a
all the
Constitution
other
check?
all the other heroes you see, you know, they got cool magic items. They're fighting dragons. We just gotta we get to fall off a ship.
All right. You're able to regain consciousness, and you're just waking up with like a piece of lumber next to you, and a vague recollection of you getting hit with said piece of lumber. So yeah, you at least the ship's working again. What happened? We were below decks trying to fix it, and it seems like you almost broke it.
That
Yes,
Well, there
there
was,
a purple worm. It came out right in front of us really suddenly. We had to go around it.
A purple worm.
Well, we
Said
kept
pull
it
up, but I
straight.
actually meant pull down, and so I fixed it.
Well, you didn't smash the hell out of the ship, so you're doing just fine.
So right one is down, or right one is up, left one is down.
Yes, that's the pitch of the engine. Luckily, we had the rotators fixed, otherwise we would have been stuck straight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Emos have a weird make, because only it's reversed pitch, but
Yes, it's a family quirk.
interesting.
All
fair
right.
enough.
So as you're beginning to feel like you're nearing your destination, you know, you've seen a few more ships passing by. You've seen a set of about 5 Modron ships carrying a huge cog, like a brand spanking new cog, and they're just slowly ferrying it by.
Erica, you don't have to raise your hand. You can just
I
Yeah, what's up?
feel like I have to because I don't want to interrupt.
No, because I'm
Has the
not.
headache gotten worse?
Your headache has stayed the same. In terms of like how bad it is, it stayed pretty much the same.
Hopefully that's a good thing.
Is Urani noticeably in pain?
Do you want to make a perception check to see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I? What do I have to roll? Can I roll deception to try and hide it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
No.
I don't want people to know.
So it's perception against deception.
That's a 12.
Okay. Versus Urani's
17.
Okay. Urani, you're able to kind of mask what you're feeling. Maya, you do feel like there's something going on, but it could just be like, you know, awe at the current events that have been happening.
I'm just gonna I turn to Urani and give like an excited thumbs up, like, oh my god, I'm driving a ship.
This is so cool.
Mikas comes over and like he's just standing a respectful distance away, kind of letting you do your thing.
You get to try the ship.
Urani definitely like does the thing where like she looks like, over the edge and then like
it's like, you know,
I'm full. Lean back, relax.
When they let little kids like go into the cockpit of an airplane.
Yeah.
Or something like it's like that.
Yeah.
Maya's just so excited.
I'm justifiably so. So you guys have been putting along. Erden, what have you been up to?
Besides being unconscious.
Yeah, I woke up. I woke up. I'm
You did wake
fine.
All right.
Let's see. Probably I'm gonna keep reading that book.
The book, the Elvish book, the conspiracy theory book.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've gotten into the section now where it's like proof, where it's like this is my irrefutable proof section, and they keep talking about a sermon that was given in the Elvish capital. Like, the book keeps coming back to the sermon, and it never elucidates on it. It just says, "Oh, well, it was from the sermon." It's like the assumption that everyone knows about the sermon.
What?
It's a sermon.
Do I know about the sermon?
The sermon.
You were too young at the time to remember the sermon. Like, you just remember that everyone was going to the capital. Like, that was the place to be. Was you were heading to the capital for like, your whole village went to the capital. Everyone you knew went to the capital for a month, and your father was like keeping you home.
Weird.
And Mikas has kicked his feet back. He's sitting on a small kind of like barrel, and he's got a flask of drink. You ready to go see the rest of your kind? Or your brothers and sisters, rather? I shouldn't frame it that way.
Me?
Yeah,
Yeah, who's he
Kato.
talking to?
Okay, I was like that.
No.
I'm like,
No, it's a little.
I guess so. Where at what is it called?
Elren.
Elren.
Yeah,
They're at
yes.
Elren.
Well, those of us who are here at Elren, most of us are. It's
That's fascinating.
yes, it's been a home of ours for a long time. But well, you spread out, but Elren has been the most stable place for the orcs to stay. So it might be a crash course in returning to your roots. And he kind of laughs a little bit and takes a
I don't
drink
know,
of his
man.
flask.
I mean, you're the first other orc I've met in like a decade, and well, look at how I reacted. I don't want to fuck this up.
No, understandably not. I don't blame you, but if you need a helping hand with anything, I can certainly give you some advice now. And,
What would that advice be?
well, I would say don't say anything until you get a lay of the land. Elren is a bit of a unique structure compared to what we're used to. There are 3 families that have a lot of say in what happens in Elren. And, well, you're either with the families or you're a heretic, so.
You gotta play your advantage. Same thing. The same thing as Monster Hunting.
Yes, exactly right.
Everything is Monster Hunter.
Everything is Monster Hunting.
everything is Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter Kato Edition.
Well, if you need an introduction to my family, I can give you this. And he holds out a small seal with a dragon on it.
Oh.
Mikas Rathir. That's my name. We're the mobile traders. We prefer to stay on ships like these ones and move around the Mechanus and, well, once the plains. But any Rathir family members will recognize that and hopefully give you a little bit of help on your way.
Have you heard of any Arakines around here?
Arakeen, not major ones, but anyone could be an Arakeen at this point. The 3 families have practically merged together. So there could be, but I can't tell you for sure. Anyone who's anyone takes the name of the 3 families.
I guess so.
So, that is why it would be wise of you to go by the name Rathir, or Cato Rathir.
Kato Rathir.
But, if you ask anyone their true name, they might give you an array that would be close to Arakeen. And
Figures.
he kind of up and says, "Well, excuse me for a moment. I need to take the ship." And Maya, you can see why. You're approaching a gear above your head, and it's a bit of a distance away, but you can make out a line of ships, like all of a sea of ships, small dinghies with tiny little engines to a massive warship, and they're all waiting in line. And Mikas kind of comes up behind you, and it gets in your line of vision. If you excuse me, Maya, you've done a wonderful job, but I need to take it from here.
Go right ahead.
Thank you.
What is that?
That, my friends, is El Ren, or at least the line to get in. And
There's a line to a city?
yes, believe it or not, there is a line for that city. And Mikas begins the ship in a gentle ascent and gets in line. Rising above you, there are 3 ornately made towers, each with a large banner flying overhead, visible from as far away as you are. One has an elk on a rich green background, another a dragon on reddish gold, and the last one a bird with its wings unfurled on a purple background. And you could see they're just huge, massive towers, and there are rings surrounding these towers of buildings. So
What
yeah,
do
you
the banners stand for?
the banners, Yorani. Well, those are the symbols of the 3 families of El Ren.
There's only 3 families in the whole city?
Well, 3 families
That
that
makes
matter.
sense.
Yes, I was just telling Kato, anyone who wants to make it in El Ren takes the name of one of the 3 families. It's more of a ceremonial thing, if anything. That's, and he points his.
Wait,
Yeah.
why doesn't everyone just have one of their names then?
Well, that's kind of what happens. See, a family adopts promising young orcs into their families. Essentially, they take the last name and fall into the family's workings, inner workings, outer workings, and that is kind of where you settle for life. So, say my family, the Rathirs, and he points at the dragon crest on the tower. We are mobile traders. We are meant to get on ships and roam the Mechanus and the plains beyond, and that is what we are chosen for. But the the Arites, and he points at the green banner with the large bird. They are shipwrights, and they are shipwrights, bookkeepers, scholars, and then there is the Onassis, and he points to the last one, the elk. The Onassis are the main dwellers of El Ren. They manage most of the goings on the outpost. And during this time, you've advanced your way to the front of the line, and you are now sitting in a kind of pseudo-port, which is a little floating structure with a small guardhouse and a dock, or a little boarding board that extends to the ship. And 4 orcish guards with pole arms and very colorful garb come out to the end of the dock. And Mikas brings them, kind of swallows. He does a hand motion to let them aboard, and you see the guards make their way on, and they begin to search the lower decks. And they just kind of look past you.
I just look at these guys and whisper to Yorani, fake names, fake lives, right?
Yes?
I
I don't know what you want me to say to that, like...
I'm just telling you.
So
Okay.
Kato...
So do we pick a new name?
Sorry.
No, I don't know. Just don't trust these people.
Oh. Okay. Don't trust anyone. Well,
Don't
okay, I
trust-
trust a lot of people.
Don't trust these orcs. I think you can trust me because I don't know, but
He seems nice.
I don't know. These guys say they're families, but they're not really families. They're
Kinda
wage
like
slavers.
cults.
They're like a cult. They're wage slavers.
Oh, they're like a cult.
So they're buffering. All right. Sorry, I
I love
was
how
just.
if you want. Oh, you're good.
Buffering.
Yeah.
Buffering, Johnny.
If
Johnny
you
was
want,
buffering.
if you want your audience to understand anything, just equate it to a cult.
Yeah, that's as close as you can get. Is just get it as close to as possible with a cult.
So like each family is their own little cult.
Sure.
Or big cult. Okay, gotcha. Except instead of sacrificing people, they
All
They
cults
donate
sacrifice
to
people.
they
Sometimes they do other stuff.
So
they kidnap people? It sounds like they kidnap people.
So as you guys have been talking, one of the guards has come up, and it's a female orc with long braided hair, and she's kind of handed you each a necklace. It is an iron necklace with a slate on it, a tablet. Well, these you're not citizens of Elren, but
Oh, rip Amy.
Rip.
Amy's gone. All right. Fantastic.
Amy's back!
Amy's back. Welcome back, Amy. We're almost done, so hang out for a sec. You're not exactly citizens of Elren, but you are. Well, you're invited to stay for as long as you like, so long as you wear these and follow a few simple rules.
Love rules. You know, ever since a few days ago, I've just been really into rules.
I'll put on the slate necklace and I'll also pull out my true blood necklace and put that on too.
Okay,
I'm
so you're
double
just like
necklace
you're just layering on necklaces.
I'm layering on necklaces.
Putting on the True
Can
Blood
I-
necklace, you feel a little connection, as if something, as you put it on, and something has almost like made eye contact with you. You could feel like there's something on your side now,
Weird.
or by your
Wacky.
side. Yes,
Strange.
Urani.
Okay,
That
strange.
probably won't be important.
Can I do? How possible is it for me to do an Arcana check on the slate necklace
Oh, it's possible.
without her noticing?
Oh, baby, it's possible.
I need you to make a stealth throw as well, if you're gonna do both.
Okay, I'll just roll 2 dice.
Okay.
Okay. Just for context,
Purple is stealth.
stealth, metal is Arcana.
Okay.
This one. So 13 plus. Oh, stealth.
Shit.
15 for stealth,
Okay.
and then for Arcana. Ooh, 23.
Okay. So you're able to kind of look at it, and you can even just looking at it, you could feel the magic coming off of it, and you can tell it's just a tracking. It's a tracking glyph. It's just a. It's just a tracking glyph. That's all it is.
Okay. I put it on over, or not over, but along with the other necklace.
Double necklace gang.
Double necklace gang.
Well, my necklace is also my arcane focus, so I kind of need it.
Yes. All right. So the orc guards are kind of they get up, they come up from the lower decks, and they're like, "You're all clear, dock in dock 5," and they get off the ship, but not before the woman you've been talking to recites some of the laws.
All right.
No
Take these laws, gang.
theft of any item is punishable by death. No credit will be issued without a bond. Disrupting anyone else's business is prohibited except in cases of auction. No transactions are to be made without the approval of a transactionary agent. Citizens caught trespassing beyond where they are allowed will be executed. Work.
Really quickly, you know what I'd like to say really quickly?
What would you like to say really quickly?
Jokes on y'all. Jokes on y'all. Haha, suckers. My weapon is my brain.
You better sheath it.
You guys know how I've had such good history with duels in the past.
Yes.
Yeah, they go great for you.
I always win them, so that's why I'm going to be getting into a ton of duels in the city.
Do not.
All right. So with the guards gone and the gun swallow cleared for entry, Mechanus begins to bring the ship toward Dock 5. As you reach the stone and metal port, a throng of people can be seen. This place is far busier and far larger than Falls Top, and there are 3 rings, each that are separated by a small distance that is closed by a gate and a bridge. The third ring in the center has the 3 large towers, and then there's a smaller set of tallish, kind of middling tall buildings, and then the largest ring seems to be a large bazaar and docking area. Humans, orcs, and elves are all moving about, slipping by storefronts in elastic crowds. The streets are rings, and the one closest to you is packed with all sorts of stalls and goods moving about in clockwise and counterclockwise directions. As Mechanus docks the ship, a cart full of dark lumber rolls by, and he takes a deep breath in. Nothing like what you're used to, right? Well, here's to you all and your good fortune along the way. Whatever happens, I doubt we won't be seeing the same stars soon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to see my family. And Mechanus walks off the gangplank, disappearing into the dense crowd.
When I see all the people, I very much panic and grab Iridan's hand.
Okay, and
Yeah,
as you
we're holding
grab
hands.
Eridan's hand, your headache becomes a little more intense.
Can I let go of Iridan's hand and see if it makes it better?
You let go of Eridan's hand, and it has not gotten better.
Okay, I hold Iridan's hand again then.
Okay.
Just making sure.
I just say to Maya, are we, is this like a buddy system? Are we supposed to hold hands?
I don't know.
Okay, Urani has never seen this many people in one place in her entire life.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. So, hold on. I'm trying to send a message in our. Yes, but the place is packed. Just like, and Eridan, you are noticing elves. Like full pointed ear elves walking around. Just
so weird.
Commonly.
I kind of like point at the elves and point at you and like look at that, look at that, look at.
I like to grab your hand.
Why are you pointing at Eridan for?
I thought I saw moss.
Good save.
I thought I saw a moss.
Pretty on brand still for Eridan.
I mean, there's a lot of moss around here. What are these elves doing here? My question.
Well, we are in another plane.
Do they look sane?
They look normal.
Elves look crazy.
Yeah, are they sane?
These elves look bonkers.
So Eridan, from your deepest childhood memories, you can remember the elves kind of coated in this greasy black like sheen that covered their body, kind of like a film that was also hardened. But these elves are fair. There's no greasy black sheen, or no like grayish black kind of like it's like clay. They were almost kind of covered in like translucent clay.
Okay. And when they were covered in that was
when all of your kind had gone crazy.
Okay.
Got a little bonkers.
Got a little bonkers.
No bonkers.
Little off the rails.
Little off the bonkers.
Little cray cray.
Were the planes cut off before the disease started to spread?
No, but the elves, your brothers and sisters seldom traveled through the plains. After a certain point.
Well, I'm confused.
Yeah. So there was kind of like it
I'm
wasn't.
gonna think about this one for a while.
Yeah. So with that being said, you are now standing in the bazaar of the ring in bazaar of Elran, and I think that that is a stellar spot to end the session.
This was a good one.
This was a good one.
Yeah,
This was
this
a
was
little
fun.
goofy. I
Ow.
guess I can do a if anyone wants to shout out to our wonderful chat members. Matt,
Shout out,
Wolfie,
shout out, shout out to Beepus,
shout out to
our
Big
mod.
Beepus, our mod.
Shout out to Big Beepus, our mod. They'll be joining us next week as our 5th player. Big Beepus.
Big Beepus,
Will be
keep an eye out for that.
coming to the mod.
That's a joke.
No, I thought it was Gooby Von Doobie.
No, we
Gooby Von Doobie is also.
Gooby Von Doobie
Well,
also.
Gooby Von Doobie is our 2nd moderator.
He's our 3rd moderator.
He's gonna be the 6th member of the Moth Company.
I mean, I hate to do this. For those of you joining us, thank you for dropping by, saying hi, sending our love. As always, support is nice. I'm glad to hear the good things and see everyone on the Discord server and kind of, hanging out, doing their thing. But for the Moth Company, I just say thanks for everything. And here's to another great session next week. And we will.
Y'all. You're all amazing, and I'd die for every last one of you.
I mean, what if we have? I don't know if I can't
make any
say
promises.
That you're all amazing. It's possible that like one of you is like really bad. Like
it's the what's the we were talking about that the other day. It's the that was
we're a product.
It's a
we're a product.
I'm thinking of the Eric Andre bit where they're talking about like the soldiers.
I would still die for every single one of you.
And
Erica, don't
they're
say
talking about
don't
they're talking about the concept of support
don't
the troops.
Johnny test me.
Whenever I think of
Will
Eric Andre, the only bit I think of is, do you think that Margaret Thatcher effectively utilized girl power?
Yes. My favorite one is the one with they're the black Scientologists. L. Ron Hubbard is the true God. Black, there is no hell. No hell. Yeah, but
we're still going with this bullshit, huh?
We're still going with this bullshit.
The
post show. The post show.
Post show.
Sell this to our patrons.
Because I am fully about to pass out.
Yeah. Well, you guys can head out. I'm gonna do a little bit of a ending card Q&A. Ron Hoyer. Yes.
Answer all of them.
Thank you, Matt. His real name is L. Ron Hoyer Bambe. Who do we want? Say no. When do we want him? 10 trillion years. Battlefield Earth should have been a Tyler Perry movie.
I don't know what you're talking about. But
dude, you're missing out. If you have Hulu, go watch the Eric Andre show.
Look, I'm already watching a show.
Is it Avatar?
Okay, I have to go.
No.
All right, goodbye. See you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming. See you next week.
It may or may not be My Hero Academia.
Yes.
There is no hell.
I love that show.
I saw a lot of stuff for it on TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, I kind of want to watch it because I've seen a lot of like content about it, and so far it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I watched the first season of Sword Art Online.
Oh,
and then the second season.
I watched the first 14 episodes because all of my friends, aka Michael, told me to not watch
don't
past
keep watching
the first 14 episodes. So I would like to shout out and thank Michael for saving me from the things I have heard about the ending.
It's not good.
No, it's just bad. It's just bad.
I am happy to have never seen it. The first 14 episodes were a blast, though.
Yeah, it was.
shameless plug to plug Sword Art Online Abridged.
I'm gonna use my shameless plug to plug Gundam. That's it.
I'm gonna use my
Just it.
shameless
Just
plug
watch Gundam.
to plug Wolfie.
That's
I love you.
aw. SamuraiPunk.com. Use code welcome at checkout for 5% off. Sorry, I really love Samurai Punk, and I just ordered a new shirt from them. It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to wearing Samurai Punk on stream stuff. Just because their shirts are so comfy. I always feel cool when I'm wearing one, and it's cool to support the peeps in Australia down under. The brothers and sisters down under. So maybe we'll strike a deal with them because they're like tiny little group. So maybe we could strike a deal with them. Shit.
Matt, you can plug the web series Worm. Great web series.
Go for it, Matt. Plug the web series Worm.
Still haven't finished it, but it's really good.
Tell you what, if you're joining the random plug club,
we're still here.
Yeah, we're
bathroom, guys.
It's the after party.
Amy's gone.
Amy's gone. Yeah. This is the after party.
Amy's gone. All the cameras are just.
It's all shifted over, but at this point, you're not even watching for the content and for the setup. You're just watching because you want to.
You're just watching to hang out.
You can just listen.
You're just hanging out.
It's like a podcast.
Well, it was like a
podcast. Something to talk about when we're done.
Yeah. So we'll probably end up quick. It's a podcast. Aw, that's great. I plug you guys for being so great, but you're already the stars of the video. Feel free to plug us anyway. I don't know what you guys are doing on Sunday nights.
We need a parade.
Tell your dog.
For us on the internet.
I got together with Erica and Michael yesterday night, and of course we have to ask each other what we're doing at 7 p.m. EST, like every Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were sitting there.
It's terrible.
Yeah, what are you doing?
So what are you doing 7 p.m. EST?
Sunday.
Sunday.
So yeah, we do that all the time too.
To ourselves.
It's the worst.
Oops, spicy. That's real good. That's real
waiting until I can see one of my managers, so I can say, "Hey, I know you like D&D. You should totally watch the Moth Company Sunday 7 p.m."
Can I tell your manager that?
Tell everyone. Yes. Shout it from the rooftops.
That you work with.
Tell all your friends. If you
That's truly mortifying.
The posts I do on the Moth Company, like Instagram,
that's real life.
Also post on my own Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
I saw that.
Yeah, I was wondering why you posted the second giveaway video.
Yeah, so that people would see it and know that they should enter.
They should enter the giveaway, which I now have to contact the people, and we need to buy the prizes. And actually, I'm gonna give you. Yeah, well, I'm gonna offer Matt if he wants us to sign it and give us a little nice. If he wants us to sign it and take a little longer with it, then we could do that. I can get it signed and mail it to Gail, and then Gail, you can just drop it off at Matt's house or whatever. Yeah. If you want signatures of 4 losers from everyone's least favorite show on the internet, 5 losers.
A signature.
Excuse you.
5 losers. Sure, Matt. I will get that ordered. I'll get that ordered here. And I will.
We'll sign it for you for free.
Wow, extra.
No, we'll sign it for you for $1. We'll sign it for you for $1.
I'm not gonna.
We'll sign something for you for $1 for the 4 of us.
Are we gonna sign both of them or only one?
25 cents per person.
We can't sign the bag because that will ruin the bag.
We could sign like a little card and then send that.
Oh yeah. I can get
25 cents per signature though.
So it's $1.25. No, we can get some thank you cards going out with that stuff.
$1 per letter.
I'll have them shipped here, and then I will mail them out.
If you Venmo me $1, I will write you a love letter. It won't be good.
Depending on how long shipping times take, it might just be more efficient to wait until I'm in your area.
Yeah, I mean it might, but the shipping time doesn't take that long, like a week or two.
Yeah, we'll
I will write you a love letter, but you have to know it does not come from the bottom of my heart.
From the top. That's only for Baby Yoda.
There it is mine. No,
well, I think we're gonna go and do our own personal wrap up. Thank you guys.
Just screaming into the void.
Screaming into the void. It's a great time. Thank you guys for tuning in. please, 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 I'm gonna shill my own show on my own show, or our own show. Share the word around, because we've got the 5-episode summary that's like 16 minutes long. That I sat in front of the camera and took like 20 takes. I can't speak. So yeah, if you wanna get your friends involved, share that. If you don't want to get your friends involved, share that too. Just, it's nice to see you guys. I'm looking forward to talking to you some more in the Discord of the next week, and we will see you next Sunday for another fantastic episode of the Moth Company. Good night, everyone.
There's only 3 of us left. Bye.
Bye.
All right.